From Su Zaicheng's experience on this day, Su Zaicheng thinks it's worth it. You know, when you upgraded the hunter system to 2.0, it only cost you so much. Maybe the system realized the stupidity before and set the price of the upgraded hunter space so high. It can be seen that the hunter system 2.0 is really worth the money. The price of each product is clearly marked, from the instructions for use to the place of production, which really surprised Su Zaicheng. Moreover, each function has practical value. For example, this one-click shielding, automatic screening, compared with the previous system is simply a bright spot. The most commendable thing is this artificial intelligence, which is so convenient. In the past, Su Zaicheng could only search for the products he wanted to buy one by one, but now it is different. He can order the system to help him find them, and he can also set the range, which is really not too cool. This is dozens of times faster. It used to be 2 grams and now it is flying at the same speed as 6 grams 7 grams. There is also a virtual experience, which is completely real, whether it is touch, hearing, or even smell, it is like facing a real thing. It's like being in a fairyland. It feels great to be there. No wonder that guy Tony keeps upgrading Jarvis. If Su Zaicheng used to be able to comfort himself when his life was in danger, with the system, he could buy life-saving supplies at any time. However, only Su Zaicheng knew. Will people who can cause danger to him still give him time to open the system mall to buy things? No way. But it's different now. Even in battle, Su Zaicheng can order the system to screen for him in the background first, and then automatically select the most suitable one for the host, which can save a lot of time and minimize the danger. All in all, the magic of Hunter System 2.0 has only just been developed. Su Zaicheng was immersed in the joy of the day and fell asleep in anticipation of the Hunter Space 2.0 upgrade. The season is now in late winter, early spring. Although winter is coming to an end, the weather in the United States is so weird, it is almost spring, and there is still some snow on the ground. It's just that the airflow in the air is no longer a piercing cold wind. Instead, it feels like a spring breeze is blowing on the face. The morning in the United States is bright early, probably due to the high latitude. There is no fog in the early morning, and the glare of the sun comes up, waking you up through the curtains. Ah. Huh? Something is pressing on me. Su Zaicheng finally couldn't bear the glare of the sun, and woke up with a yawn. It's just that when he just woke up, he discovered something was wrong. Could it be that those crazy ninjas from the hand are coming again? Ah. What are you doing in the early morning? I want to sleep a little longer. Suddenly, a soft lowly voice came. Suddenly Su Zaicheng was startled. Damn it, Carrie? When did you come back? Last night. Su Zaicheng never expected that it was Jiali who had disappeared for a long time who was pressing on him. No wonder this familiar texture is so comfortable. Jiali, a little lowly, still likes to sleep on Su Zaicheng's body as always. Last night, I felt a bang when I fell asleep. Then I felt like I was being crushed by a ghost, and I thought it was a dream. No wonder, with Jiali's strength, it is not easy to enter Su Zaicheng's bedroom without Su Zaicheng noticing, and she can enter as she wants. Jiali was still wearing the lowly outfit that Su Zaicheng bought for him. She still had the same cute look, she hadn't changed at all. Even the Planetmaker watch in his hand is still preserved. It seems that Su Zaicheng has left an indelible impression on Jiali. Gary, what would you like to eat later? Su Zaicheng asked while brushing his teeth. I want to brush too. Jiali didn't answer Su Zaicheng, but stretched her head towards the sink, motioning for Su Zaicheng to wash her too. You haven't changed at all, hee. Su Zaicheng also skillfully took a toothbrush and washed her up. After the two of them washed up, Su Zaicheng felt a little embarrassed. Asked again. What do you want to eat? Although this sentence is redundant. Daughter of Uncle Galactus, do you still choose what to eat? I stuff everything in my stomach if I take anything from the earth. All, take what you have. Hearing this, Su Zaicheng instantly understood that the former Jiali was right. He picked up the special line in his villa and directly booked all the food for a week in several hotels. Then hang up in an unbelievable manner on the other end of the phone. Gary, what method did your father use to fill your stomach? Su Zaicheng was also puzzled. Logically, Jiali, a little lowly, should cry out that she is hungry every once in a while, even though she still takes out a planet every 15 minutes and eats it. But this should be just a relief, not very useful. It just ate a few galaxies. Oh, it's only dozens of times bigger than your Milky Way. It's only a few dozen times larger than your Milky Way. If this sentence was uttered by someone else, Su Zaicheng would definitely give him a big mouth. But when Li said it, Su Zaicheng absolutely believed it. It's just, why is it so strange to say this sentence from such a harmless little lowly? Only you two have such a good appetite. Su Zaicheng was really powerless to complain. Eating galaxies as food, can we find other people in this universe? It's useless, it's just temporarily filling the stomach, and it will be replenished after a while. You two really don't shy away from talking. Then why are you back? Miss you? Sneaked out. Shish, don't let my dad find out, or he will be angry. I will sneak a look at you this time, and I have to leave in a few days. Jiali carefully hooked her head and turned around, as if someone was really watching her around her. She looked extremely cute. By the way, Su Zaicheng, you seem to have changed. Why did you change the army? There seems to be a circle of white light above your head, which I can't see through. What? There are things you can't see through. Su Zaicheng immediately became interested, and the boss of Level Universe said that he couldn't understand Su Zaicheng, which made Su Zaicheng so proud. However, if I'm not mistaken, it should probably be possible. In the language of your Earth, it's something called luck. That's it. Su Zaicheng thought that his strength had become stronger, which made Jiali look at him with admiration. It seems that Su Zaicheng is thinking too much. How awesome he is, in the eyes of others, he is still a low-level role. If Su Zaicheng in the past was the difference between an ant and an elephant compared to Jiali, then now he is just a frog. The opponent is still a big mountain, still an unattainable existence. After all, in the eyes of an elephant, there seems to be no difference between crushing an ant and crushing a frog. As for the luck that Gali mentioned, that's why Su Zaicheng's god of luck favored this skill. After all, luck is something that cannot be seen or touched. It is indeed a mysterious thing. No wonder you are not as comfortable as before when you came back. It turned out to be because of this stuff. When Jiali said this, Su Zaicheng understood. Ever since Su Zaicheng saw Jiali, it seemed that he was the one who was asking questions. Jiali seemed to be a little taciturn. The circle is white. Speaking of white light, Su Zaicheng even looked in the mirror, but there was nothing. Still not qualified enough. Everyone can tell at a glance what's going on. Su Zaicheng can't even see it. It's embarrassing if someone else thinks about your own things. Mr. Beep? Your order is out of order. The ringing of the doorbell interrupted the conversation between the two. It should be the food ordered by Su Zaicheng. Just didn't expect it to be so fast. Where? Su Zaicheng opened the door and found a waiter-like man in a suit standing outside. Sir, wait a moment, because the husband ordered too much. The company has urgently summoned all the kitchen staff to work overtime and try our best to make it for the husband. Okay. I'm not interested in what you said. You just say when the meal will arrive. Oh, sir, it's here. Please see, sir. The waiter was still serving with a smile on his face, and pointed to a large truck parked outside the yard. Su Zaicheng looked in the direction of his finger, only to find a large truck with the hotel's logo parked there. I was fascinated by the talk with Jiali just now, but I didn't notice it. Then why are you still standing there? Send it to the house. Sir. Don't you want to hold a party at home? This is only 1/3, and there are 2 cars behind, and there are food delivery cars from other restaurants. The waiter thought that Su Zaicheng was joking. Even if so much food was put into his villa, it would have to cover the floor, so the restaurant staff thought that this family was going to hold a big party, so they parked the car at the door and waited further command. Yes, that's right, you heard me right. Just take it to the yard for me, right now. Su Zaicheng's face was full of bewilderment. Could it be that what I said was so difficult to understand? Hey, I don't blame them. They also want to provide one-stop service. Who told you to order so many things at once? This F***king is enough for an ordinary family to eat to death. The waiter is also confused, but since the customer said it, he can only do it. A few people got out of the car and moved to the yard. In the end, they even built a conveyor belt and passed it directly to Su Zaicheng's villa. For this meal, it took 3 hours just to set up and talk about Su Zaicheng's house. Because Su Zaicheng had warned Jiali to eat slowly and not to eat so fast, so it was basically 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the meal was finished. From ordering food at 8 o'clock in the morning to eating until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, who else can do it? Although Jiali is basically eating, she keeps eating, can't stop at all, and doesn't care about the taste, just stuffs it into her mouth randomly. If Su Zaicheng hadn't told her about her, Su Zaicheng would have no doubt that Jiali can even throw the plate directly into the stomach in one breath, and it's the kind that doesn't chew. Poor Su Zaicheng was full after eating only 2 bowls of pasta. It was a shame that he couldn't eat all the delicious food. Su Zaicheng watched Jiali eat the whole time, and even played a few games in the middle. Then continued to look at Jiali. Su Zaicheng, I feel a bit reckless. How about it? Is it ready to eat? Do you think the food on Earth is still delicious? Delicious is delicious, but doesn't care how full it is, what a pity. Su Zaicheng was stunned by this little loli once again. Looking at her serious face, Su Zaicheng couldn't help but patted the top of her head. This is too cute, and it's a pity in a serious way. No wonder you are so reluctant to eat the earth, it turns out it's a pity. Ha ha. After the two of them finished their breakfast and lunch, it was already 3 or 4 in the afternoon. At this point, Su Zaicheng couldn't think of anything interesting to do. Gary, would you like to play golf? I don't want to. What about the bowling ball? Boring. Horse riding? Is there any more? It doesn't seem like there's anything interesting. Then go shopping, maybe you can have another big meal. Little Lolita only has food left in her mind. Who said, shopping? Definitely the most important thing is shopping. Accidentally forgot. How could the other strengths of level universe not be able to read minds? I saw through Su Zaicheng's complaints at once. Sure enough. Every woman likes to go shopping. Loli is no exception. Even other Loli in level universe are no exception. Chi. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let's go now. Su Zaicheng couldn't bear this kind of terrible acting like a baby. He quickly took Jiali and went out. It seems that the two met for the first time when they met while shopping, it's really destined. Walking down the street, there was a rather handsome young man followed by an extremely cute little loli. This combination, the rate of return is quite high. There are even talent scouts who extended an olive branch to the two of them. It wasn't until Jiali walked into a fast food restaurant and ate up their food reserves for a whole month that passers-by realized that this little girl was extraordinary. The two of them just walked on the street in such a random way, not buying anything, such as brand-name clothes, bags, shoes, and cosmetics. They were not interested at all. The only thing I like is all kinds of food, whether it's roadside stalls, small snacks, or big restaurants. When two people meet, one enters the other. I didn't rush to the next one until I couldn't eat enough. How can you go shopping like this? You don't buy anything, you just eat. Su Zaicheng was speechless. He had followed Jiali all the way, but he had endured strange looks from others. Maybe Su Zaicheng was sensitive, but he felt ashamed to follow Jiali to eat like this. On the contrary, Jiali returned to the earth as if she had returned to her own home, and she didn't mind at all. Oh, that's right, Zaicheng, how did your previous house change? Finally, after an afternoon of getting along, Jiali's address changed. From the original name and surname, until now, Jiali has completely let go. Oh, someone else blew it up. What? Zaicheng, who was bombed and dared to bully me. I see who it is. You say, I'll help, you teach them a lesson. Before Su Zaicheng finished speaking, Jiali only heard that Su Zaicheng was being bullied, and immediately squeezed her small fists together fiercely. Puff's little face looks ridiculous, not at all angry. Haha. Even being angry is so cute, don't worry, I've already taken care of it. Su Zaicheng fondled Jiali's hair. I don't know why, but Su Zaicheng just likes to touch her hair, until it touches her hairy hair. In this way, the two-person world belonging to Su Zaicheng and Jiali ended in such an afternoon of shopping. To be precise, it ended on the way to eat. The next morning, Su Zaicheng was still woken up by the pressure. Originally, Su Zaicheng had prepared a room for Jiali. But Jiali had to sleep on Su Zaicheng, and Su Zaicheng was willing to use this little loli as a pillow. The two of them finished washing, because Su Zaicheng had bought out all the ingredients in the nearby hotels and restaurants for a month, so the two of them dealt with it and cleaned up the food in the refrigerator. Fortunately, since Jiali left, Su Zaicheng has never forgotten to replenish the refrigerator to keep it full at all times. I don't know why I followed Su Zaicheng and was subtly influenced by Su Zaicheng. The little loli, who didn't need to brush her teeth, fell in love with this sport. Every morning when he got up to wash and brush his teeth, Su Zaicheng never forgot to turn on the TV and listen to the news. However, it seems that there is really no major event recently. In the United States, it seems that if there is any major event, it will not be released on the news. It is secretly controlled by some secret organizations, such as SHIELD, FBI and so on to solve. Definitely, it will be reported except when it has impacted the safety of everyone in the United States. For example, Electric King destroying nuclear power plants, Abomination, Sandman, Rhino Monster destroying cities, robbery, etc., will be reported only when they can be seen by many people. If only a few people know about these things, Su Zaicheng has no doubts that the politicians in the United States will definitely cover them up, lest these riots affect their official career. Although it is said that there is never a shortage of reporters who are not afraid of death in the United States, there are still a few who are actually reported. Today I will teach you how to play games. Anyway, nothing happened, at least on the surface. Su Zicheng simply took his sister to play games today. Okay. What game? A game for men and women? No, mobile games. Gee, why'd I think it stimulates the game? Why does this little girl speak in such a way that makes people dream about it? It's really outspoken, and I don't know who I learned from. Su Zicheng hurriedly took out a mobile phone and turned on the king's pesticide and handed it to Jiali, for fear that she would say a word or two. This is very simple. It tests your coordination ability with your teammates, as well as hand speed. Come, let me teach you. The account that Su Zicheng gave to Jiali was his old account, because Phil money was too much Krypton, and the amount and frequency of Phil money were restricted by the government. So Su Zicheng bought more than a dozen accounts in a row, and charged them all with the best equipment and characters. Come, let me teach you. Wait a moment. Seeing Jiali holding her mobile phone and falling into deep thought, Su Zicheng knew that he was redundant again, and the enthusiasm just now was completely unnecessary. Sure enough, after a few seconds, Jiali raised her head and said with confidence, "Come on." It was only in the next few hours that Su Zicheng really understood the profound meaning of this game. What kind of flash picks up? What protects the shooter and cuts the back row? All of them are weak. Even the VIP Phil money boss at the 9th level opposite could not escape Jiali's sanctions. Every time it is an extreme game, one person absolutely carries the whole audience. Even Su Zicheng feels that he is a bit redundant. Don't die, don't go home, no, don't die at all. In these 4 hours, Su Zicheng went from a silver to the strongest king. Even the teammates felt that Jiali had cheated. Not only does the opponent have no sense of game experience, but the existence of teammates is also a supporting role with a sense of presence, and even the official came out to testify. A peak game can be watched by tens of thousands of people. Damn it, I've spent so much time playing for nothing. I've spent so much money. Only at this time did Su Zicheng realize how rubbish he was. He thought that after playing for a few days, he was good enough. It turns out that there is a sky beyond the sky, and there are people beyond people. This sentence is not just talking. This time Su Zicheng really understood Jiali's setting. What is omniscience? This is called omniscience. I haven't figured it out after playing for a few months. People can master the rules in a few seconds. Not only can they master the rules, but they can also play around the edges of the rules without destroying the fairness of the game. Under the premise of unlimited development of its own combat power. This F** king is the other big brother of level universe. Zicheng, I don't want to play anymore, it's boring. I'm useless. Jiali's boringness is that she is tired of playing. Once she enters, she is completely invincible, and her hands fly up quickly. Everyone is the same, so she naturally gets tired of it. Su Zicheng is different. Su Zicheng is so boring. It's also the same for each one, but everyone has soy sauce, and it's really boring to follow Jiali. You are really a professional in quitting internet addiction. What? There's nothing to eat at home. Why don't we go to Washington to eat Western food? Su Zicheng changed the topic to cover up his embarrassment in playing the black hole. Yeah. Su Zicheng smiled slightly and disappeared in the next second. In the next second, it has appeared on the edge of New York State. In the next second, he teleported to another state. Several states in a row teleported, and Su Zicheng finally arrived in Washington. Using the word finally is a bit of an inaccuracy, because it all happened in a matter of seconds. Zicheng. Jiali didn't know when she stood behind Su Zicheng and tugged at the corner of his clothes. Nuo cried. Yes, my eyes, I wanted to show my hands in front of this master, but in the end I teleported over in an instant, and he had been waiting here for a long time. Waiter, give me the diamond VIP box. I'd like an 8th rare filet mignon. Another bottle of 82-year-old Lafite. Another small fry. Yes sir, no problem, huh? A cow. The waiter is confused. People who come to this kind of restaurant still like to make such jokes. Go. You heard me right, just fry another cow. Su Zicheng confirmed it again, but the waiter still left in a daze. Since the customer has this habit, as a catering industry, it should satisfy all the requirements of the customer. This restaurant was specially selected by Su Zicheng, and it was exactly the one I ate at the last time I came to Washington. A 5-star restaurant deserves to be a 5-star restaurant, and Su Zicheng was served an entire cow after an hour. The two chewed and ate slowly. Su Zicheng was accompanying Jiali to fill his stomach, and Jiali was also passing the time. Anyway, the two of them had nothing to do. Diddy. Suddenly, a rush of voices interrupted their meal. Hello? What's the matter? Su Zaicheng reluctantly picked up the phone. It turned out to be a black marinated egg. Is there another task? Mr. Hunter, there is a business that I don't know if you are willing to talk about it. I don't want to. Hang up. After finishing speaking, Su Zaicheng really hung up, completely disrespecting the black stewed egg. On the other end of the phone, there were black question marks all over his face. You hung up on me before King said anything. Then you threw the phone to the ground angrily. Anyway, you won't know what I'm doing since you're so far away, and you can't read my heart, so I can scold you as much as I want. Damn it, I'm also Shield, Director, you are the first one who dares to hang up on my phone. Hello? Mr. Hunter, don't hang up the phone, wait for me to finish speaking. The black marinated man who was furious just now, turned around and took out a mobile phone to call Su Zaicheng politely. It was as if it wasn't the black corned egg who scolded people just now. This face change almost caught up with Monkey King. Speak. 50 billion, help take down a base of Hydra, with the Avengers, your task is very simple. For Loki Scepter, not interested, beep 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 beep. There was a rush of busy voices, this time the black marinated egg really lost its temper. His grandma's legs, we can do without you. In other words, how could he know everything? Have you finished eating? Let's go back to the theater after eating. It's not that Su Zaicheng doesn't want to take this order. It's just that Su Zaicheng has set a rule for himself. Every time he takes a shot, he has to rest for more than a week. This is a rule that cannot be broken. If it is like this endlessly accepting tasks, killing people, and earning money every time, then wouldn't he become a tool for killing people? This is not the original intention of Su Zaicheng as a bounty hunter. Besides, there is such a sweet and lovely little loli by my side, how could Su Zaicheng be willing to leave? Besides, Jiali sneaked out to see Su Zaicheng, risking the destruction of the earth. How could Su Zaicheng have the heart to throw Jiali away alone at home? Eat well. Let's go. There were obviously two bull legs in front of Jiali, but when Su Zaicheng said there was a good show to watch, when Su Zaicheng wasn't paying attention, they were swept away in an instant. The two moved instantly, and wasted a few seconds to return home. Gary, can you spot where the Avengers are? It's the man in the machine armor, and the fat green man, the ones holding the shield. Yes, that's right. It seems to be on your Earth, a small island called Europe. Hey, it seems that there is going to be a fight, there is a good show to watch. Hey, let's join in the fun when Jiali is gone, watch a play, we are the best at it. Watching a play. You can watch it at home. After finishing speaking, Jiali waved her hand, and the picture of Avengers unexpectedly appeared in the big bed of the villa out of thin air. This is a transport fighter, it is very big, and you can tell it belongs to S.H.I.E.L.D. at a glance. At the moment the rear hatch of the fighter jet has been opened. Captain America, Iron Man, Green Titan, Natasha Romanoff, Hawkeye, even Thor returned to Earth at some point. The first generation of Avengers is assembled, all in one place. I'll go. Live broadcast, I adore you more and more, Jiali. Su Zaicheng originally planned to use Hawkeye to watch this good show, but Hawkeye was released, and with Su Zaicheng's current mental strength, he couldn't find the place for Avengers. This made Su Zaicheng very depressed. He agreed to invite someone to watch the show, but in the end he had to ask him to help adjust the screen. I had no choice but to flatter and cover up. Everybody, are you ready? Captain America weighed the shield in his hand and asked. Komian. Natasha Romanoff and Hawkeye couldn't wait. Roar, the Green Titan yelled and jumped off the plane first. Hercules, wait for me too. Thor followed closely behind. Then everyone jumped down handsomely. There is no need for parachute jumping at all. Even though Natasha Romanoff and Hawkeye are ordinary people without supernatural powers and armor, but they also have their own coups. Su Zaicheng looked into the distance, and there was a secret base built on the edge of a cliff. The 9 tentacle octopus flags hanging high, if not the Hydra base, what else could it be? It seems that the black stewed eggs really hate these Hydra, these two deadly enemies, no one can do anything about it. Last time, the black braised eggs thought they had wiped out the remnants of Hydra, but they still slipped through the net. Just when the Avengers arrived, their existence was naturally discovered in the Hydra base. Tanks, rows of armored vehicles, and teams of heavily armed Hydra soldiers immediately surrounded the Avengers from all directions. In the snow forest here, today is destined to be an extraordinary day. Roar. Green Titan took the lead. After a few jumps, he stepped hard on an armored vehicle. There was only a puff, and the armored car made of fine steel was like a toy car. Was trampled to pieces. It was scrapped without even firing a single 5.0 gun. As the battle started, the two sides instantly entered a fighting state. Hawkeye hid behind the tree trunk, shot one arrow, and occasionally bombed to hide in the atmosphere, playing cover. Natasha Romanoff looks like a Proxima Midnight Cat. All kinds of fighting skills show the enemy completely at a loss. Iron Man is more casual and does not use hands. Jarvis automatically and accurately locates the enemy's position. The palm cannon and the tracking bullets on the shoulders are basically guaranteed to hit. Under Thor's Mjolnir, the tanks were smashed into pieces of iron, and even the shells could be knocked back with a hammer. Captain America's shield also resisted most of the bullets and explosives for him. With top-level physical skills, Captain America's combat effectiveness is naturally impeccable. Not to mention the Green Titan. This guy is completely hitting indiscriminately, breaking through all methods with one force. He was a ferocious beast, and no one or car could last more than 3 seconds in his hands. Green Titan is really a dictator of all kinds of bells and whistles. On the other hand, Hydra is completely one-sided. However, the soldiers trained by Hydra are completely fearless existences, and they swarmed up one by one, wanting to fight against each other. On the cliff, in the base of Hydra, a bald man with glasses spoke to another Hydra leader. "Surrender. Huh? Do you want to let those two guys out?" When the two looked in one direction in a tacit understanding, they were suddenly confused. The two people who were supposed to be there disappeared at some point. In the jungle, the Avengers are fighting like chicken blood, becoming more and more courageous, but the number of enemies is too large and the equipment is also very good. After a while, Natasha Romanoff and Hawkeye's physical strength was a little too small to keep up. "Hey, boss," when Thor kicked out a nearby soldier, he smiled contemptuously at Captain America who was nearby. Not to be outdone, Captain America flung out the weapon in his hand like a spiral dart, and a soldier holding an MP5 submachine gun was unluckily smashed to the ground. The corner of the captain's mouth rises. Raising his eyebrows, he turned around and gave Thor a peach butt. Thor couldn't bear this kind of stimulation, raised Mjolnir and threw it at Captain America. The captain is also very smart, and instantly understood what Thor wanted to do. Protect the shield with both arms, and go straight up. Mjolnir's collision with the vibranium shield was like a shockwave, an invisible airwave mixed with thunder and lightning raged around the crazy city. Suddenly, a scene appeared around the two people. Vacuum. Even an unwary Avenger was shaken back by Shin. Roar. The Green Titan yelled at the two of them, as if to say again, "Be careful you two. There is a look of doing it if you don't accept it. Then start crazy output to nearby enemies. You two, like a grandma wearing lipstick, so childish," Tony also said with a serious and humorous face in the battle armor. After this, the people of Hydra have almost lost. Iron Man took off and flew towards the base, trying to get back shield stuff. For Tony, everyone still believes in his ability. Just when Hawkeye watched Tony fly into the base, and he wanted to draw his bow to aim at the enemy, suddenly, an unknown force came, and his body was thrown out from behind the tree in an instant. The same is true for the captain, who suddenly felt that someone beside him swished past him, and then he fell to the ground. At the same time, Thor was also confused, because he fell down, and was hit in the head with a hammer. Several people suddenly had a splitting headache and their brains were buzzing. Shaking his head, trying to get rid of the pain, he took a closer look, and it turned out to be a boy with silver-white hair dyed in a tight uniform. "This person is Quicksilver." He smiled slightly and rushed out again. Several people just stood up, and were overturned to the ground again. Even the armored vehicles on the side were knocked out. "Gary, what do you think of this man?" "Well, it's not bad, the speed is about 6 points. Hiss. Su Zaicheng gasped. "You must know that in the official Marvel, the speed of 6 is the speed of light, that is, the fastest speed of Quicksilver can reach 1,860,000 miles per second. This startled Su Zaicheng who was watching the live broadcast. Then let me meet this Scarlet Witch. Just when Iron Man stepped onto the cliff, he happened to meet some Hydra's slippery fish, and they were big fish. Needless to say, direct missile service. In an instant, most of the base was destroyed. Jarvis, locate the mind gem. Target, straight ahead, 50 meters away." Tony fell down and walked cautiously towards the ruins in front of him. Suddenly, Tony only felt a shock in his head, and he froze immediately. It seems to be lost for a second. In the next second, everything that appeared in front of his eyes made Tony terrified. "That is a broken shield, isn't it? Captain America's star-spangled shield? Go 2 steps forward, and Mjolnir is also broken into pieces. The bodies of Captain America, Thor, Natasha Romanoff, and Hawkeye seem to be in front of you. Is the entire Avengers team destroyed? The more Tony watched, the more frightened he became. Don't look at Tony's complaints and contempt for them, but at this moment. For some reason, Tony felt his heart ache. Tony, it's fake, it's a dream. Jarvis, find a way for me. Hiss, Shiete really hurts, he is indeed awake. Please try to use a better method next time. 2 steps further forward, a ball of orange light envelops the Loki scepter inlaid with mind gem. Tony took it off without any hesitation, and the engine under his feet flew him straight out. Mission accomplished. Wait. Don't chase anymore. Quicksilver was stopped by a woman in a red leather cloak. She is Wanda, or Scarlet Witch. This pair of siblings are super abilities created by Mind Gem, or mutant. Just let him go. I have already seen the fear in his heart. Sooner or later, he will be defeated by himself. In the casual conversation between the 2 siblings, it seems that they did not regard the Avengers as their opponents. To be more precise, the Avengers were not taken seriously. Oops, finally got to see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Pity, that's all. Pity, pity. It's not bad, the magic of this little ant should barely reach 6. What? Also 6, origin magic power. Unexpectedly, Quicksilver's speed is 6, and even Scarlet Witch's magic ability can reach 6. This pair of brothers and sisters is indeed not simple. It is true that people also have the ability to not take the Avengers seriously. Lee, Jiali, then look at me, how am I, and what level can I reach? Hearing that Jiali spoke so highly of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, Su Zaicheng couldn't help wondering how he was doing. You? Huh? Huh? Say it quickly, don't make people hungry. You should be 5 in one body, but there are still several places. I am not easy to draw conclusions. I always feel that there are more amazing secrets in you, and what? Originally, I was not very happy to hear that Jiali said that she was 5, but there are still places where Jiali can't draw conclusions, so it is even more worth looking forward to. Moreover, the white light above your head seems to allow you to reach level 7. F*K. Shit trough. I can reach the level of 7, awesome, awesome. Just barely passed, facing the real 7, you can only escape for your life? Before Su Zaicheng was happy, Jiali poured a basin of cold water down. Now Su Zaicheng gave up. After all, his 7 is just a fake 7 obtained by relying on the blessing of the god of fate. Counting the hunter system, now Su Zaicheng just has some extra life-saving means. Gary, teach me magic. Su Zaicheng had a whim. Anyway, the live broadcast here has ended, and if you are idle, you are idle. So why not learn 2 more tricks before Jiali leaves? I'm afraid that the other abilities of these level universes will not be rumored. What do you want to learn? How about time standing still? This trick Su Zaicheng has been peeping for a long time, but before that, his mental power was limited, and the copying eyes could only learn a little bit. Looking good. Ding, as soon as Jiali finished speaking, time stood still. The leaves in the yard that were being blown by the wind stopped in a strange posture and remained motionless. The water glass that Su Zaicheng was about to put on the table after drinking also stopped in midair. The drops of water that were about to drip from the faucet were motionless like pearls with a broken thread. Even the picture on the TV seemed to be still. In the whole world, only Su Zaicheng and Jiali can speak and move. It's amazing, it's amazing. This is not the first time Su Zaicheng has seen Jiali stop time, but every time it can give Su Zaicheng a sense of shock. In the eye sockets, the copying eyes silently activated, and the magic 5-pointed star was running rapidly, but the copying eyes running at high speed seemed to have encountered a complex and difficult to decipher code, in a stalemate. Su Zaicheng had no choice but to concentrate his mental power, and poured his mental power into his eyes with full concentration. Without Su Zaicheng's knowledge, the soul pendant on his neck emitted a milky white light at some point, which was constantly released outward. After a while, it wrapped Su Zaicheng's head. All this is unknown to Su Zaicheng. Because of this light, no one can notice it. Except Carrie. When he was trying to focus his gaze, Su Zaicheng felt a sudden ecstasy in his brain, as if his brain had been put into a vat of warm water and was constantly absorbing nourishment. Su Zaicheng struggled to win his eyes, and the magic 5-pointed star turned faster. If someone can see it, they will find that this is no longer a 5-pointed star but a circle. Colorful in circle. Suddenly, Su Zaicheng seemed to see through the composition, form and nature of the magic of time stillness. Galley, undo the stillness of time. Su Zaicheng said so, and Jiali followed suit, and the world returned to its original appearance. The bottle in midair began to fall, the leaves in the yard began to rustle again, and the water drops from the faucet finally dripped into the pool. However, at the moment when Jiali touched the stillness of time, a transparent mask visible to the naked eye began to appear on Su Zicheng's body. 1 inch, 2 inches, 1 foot, 2 feet. 1 zhong, 2 zhong. In just a few breaths, it has expanded to a radius of 20 meters around Su Zicheng. That's how it stopped. Inside the transparent mask, it seems to belong to Su Zicheng's own small world. Here, the water cup that was doing free fall next to the same time stopped again at a place 10 punches above the ground. Successful. Su Zicheng clearly felt that time had stood still in the area he was in. The leaves in the yard were still rustling, and the pool was still dripping with water. Only the time in the range of Su Zicheng stopped. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Although it can't be like Gali, she can stop the time of the whole earth at will. However, Su Zicheng is already very satisfied to be able to do this. You know, last time, Su Zicheng barely stopped time within the palm of his hand. This time the copying eye has fully exerted its effect. Last time, the essence of time's stillness was not even analyzed, it was just a simple copy. But this time it is different. This time it is the real magic composition of time's stillness, form and the nature is completely analyzed. It's just that Su Zicheng's mental power is not enough now, so he can barely reach such a large range. In the future, when my spiritual strength is improved, maybe I can really stop the time of the earth like Jiali. Proficient copy eye holders can do it first. If they have extensive knowledge, they can change existing magic at will and create new magic that reaches the practical level. Su Zicheng suddenly thought of it, and the copy eye still has this understanding. Suddenly, Su Zicheng's mind moved, and a small idea gradually sprouted in his heart. Gali, come with me. After speaking, Su Zicheng then teleported to the yard. In the yard, Su Zicheng waved his hand violently at the distant branches that were swaying in the wind. The copy eye spins rapidly. A transparent photomask is quickly formed in the hands of Su Zicheng. With a fierce wave of Su Zicheng's hand, he rushed towards the big tree like a palm cannon. Sure enough. Looking at the big tree covered by the light mask, motionless inside like a picture, Su Zicheng said happily. This trick was inspired by the hammer that Captain America and Thor gave just now. The same as shockwave, since their energy can be spread out in the form of waves to achieve the effect of crushing the enemy. Su Zicheng's time stop mask can also be shot out as a shockwave, which also achieves the effect of controlling the enemy in battle. Oh, not bad. Does this look like the freezing technique of a character in King of Pesticides, the skill of that female magician? Jiali also seemed to have seen something strange and shouted happily. It can be said that it can also be used as a shock of love, making the enemy unable to move suddenly during the battle. Hehe. Now Su Zicheng is very happy. He did not expect such a small experiment to give him another fighting card. Let me ask, if the opponent was stopped for some reason during the battle, is there still a possibility of a comeback in this battle? Isn't it like a fish on a sticky board for Su Zicheng to kill? It's a pity that this skill is too mentally exhausting. I guess it can only last for about a minute. Sure enough, after Su Zicheng finished speaking, the mask disappeared out of thin air, and the big tree returned to its original appearance again, and swayed with the wind again. After all, it is the other great magic of the level universe, such as time stillness. Su Zicheng is very pleased to be able to do this. Degree. Gali, show me teleportation again. I always feel that I have to teleport and I'm almost missing something. Can. Jiali still listens to Su Zicheng very much. For some reason, Jiali seems to have regarded Su Zicheng as a relative. Swish 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 swish. Jiali's figure began to shuttle freely in the courtyard, on the courtyard wall, on the treetops, and on the roof of the building. The use of this teleportation is simpler than eating and drinking. There is no mental exhaustion at all. The dizzy situation. As Jiali's teleportation began, the 5-pointed star in Su Zicheng's eyes began to rotate. In fact, Su Zicheng had already analyzed the composition, essence and nature of teleportation last time. However, after another understanding of the copying eye just now, not only the extension of shooting out the time still mask just now, Su Zicheng also has another immature idea. Sure enough, after a while, Su Zicheng could not only understand the structure of teleportation magic, but also change its composition and modify the structure. Okay, Carrie, it's alright. Shouting to stop Jiali, Su Zicheng couldn't wait to show his hands. In an instant, Su Zicheng returned to the living room in the next second. In a second, Su Zicheng appeared in the yard again. However, this time when Su Zicheng appeared, he appeared sitting on the sofa. That is to say, not only did Su Zicheng teleport over, but also brought the sofa over by the way. He. He. Jiali smiled coquettishly, as if she was mocking mercilessly. This is what I made it for, things that I got tired of playing with when I was a kid. Although Su Zaicheng didn't know what Jiali was thinking. However, this discovery also made him excited. Although it can't increase the range or the number of times just like time is still, but there is such a practical function. Moreover, while carrying things to move instantly, it seems that the mental power consumed is not much more than before. I just don't know if it can move people around. What's for dinner? Jiali pulled Su Zaicheng's clothes and asked softly. I have to say that a little Japanese-style loli like Jiali is really alluring. Just such a simple question can make Su Zaicheng feel excited. It took a few breaths hard to suppress the heat in his body. After a whole afternoon of tossing, Su Zaicheng was also a little hungry. It seems that there is nothing to eat. How about? Hey, that's a good idea. Before Su Zaicheng finished speaking, Jiali had already guessed what Su Zaicheng wanted to do. Anyway, there's nothing on earth that interests you. The nearby restaurants are all closed. It's better to order something delicious. After Su Zaicheng finished speaking, he smiled and touched the ring on the middle finger of his right hand. With a flick, a space crack appeared out of thin air in the yard. It can also be said to be a space wormhole. Su Zaicheng put on the hat of the hunter suit, wrapped his whole body in it, and jumped into the crack without any hesitation. Carrie followed closely behind. The two jumped into the crack and disappeared into the courtyard of the villa. After a few seconds, the crack disappeared again, as if it had never been there. Hey, golly, what is this? In space, it is a vacuum state. Su Zaicheng can't make a sound, so Su Zaicheng moves with his hands and thinks about what he wants to say. Anyway, other big shots in the level universe like Jiali will definitely not make such low-level mistakes as communication barriers caused by being in space. When he came to space, Su Zaicheng realized how small he was. Not only is the body small, but the strength is also so small. Because every moment Su Zaicheng is in space, he feels like he is being hammered on his body non-stop. Comparing the bit of energy released from the cracks on the Earth with this terrifying pressure is nothing short of a comparison. Fortunately, Su Zaicheng's physique points increased to 375, he was wearing a hunter suit, and he even had an IV.6 indestructible body, which barely resisted the harsh environment in space. There are hunter suits, although breathing is no longer a problem. But the body is suffering every minute and every second. Su Zaicheng could barely resist. Su Zaicheng's body was floating in space, and he pointed at the glowing balls the size of a basketball file from a distance and asked. In the space, except for a little bit of starlight and the light emitted by the fixed star, other places are pitch black. Su Zaicheng was really a little afraid that an unknown thing would suddenly rush out of the dark place below and swallow him in one gulp. Fortunately, Jiali was beside him, which made him feel at ease. That's your fixed star, son. Jiali's voice reached Su Zaicheng's ears. Jiali is a child of the creator god, originally a member of the universe, and naturally not bound by the universe. What? The sun, strange. Isn't this weakened version of the space gem ring able to reach 1 billion light-years in one trip? Why hasn't it left the Milky Way yet? The host, the weakened version of the space gem is unstable, and the maximum distance can reach 1 billion light-year. What? Why didn't you say it earlier? It means that every space travel is random. It can be understood in this way. Su Zaicheng only felt that his IQ was severely crushed, and tens of thousands of grass and mud horses were galloping on his head. Spend so much money, give me such a thing. Hey, think about it, who made himself poor, can only make do with counterfeit goods. But the cooling time is 15 minutes, so just stay there for 15 minutes? Gary, gal, that. Clear. The next moment, the bodies of the two people appeared somewhere in space again. Here, the Milky Way is clearly visible. It is exactly the same as the picture in the book on the Earth. Su Zaicheng rode excitedly, as if he was in 10 oceans. Suddenly his body appeared under a meteorite near him. Following the example of Superman, he slowly lifted the meteorite up below. Using teleportation again, Su Zaicheng jumped up and down on several nearby meteorites and small stars, like a child. Only then did Su Zaicheng realize how weak his teleportation is, let alone tens of thousands of meters, hundreds of kilometers. Even if you can cross the Pacific Ocean, it is not worth mentioning here. Looking at Jiali, this little guy actually regarded this place as his own home, shrunk down a planet to the file size of a ball, and sat on it carelessly. Wherever it floats, just pick off a planet and eat it like a snack after shrinking. Seeing Su Zaicheng was trembling. It's too scary, I managed to barely survive in space, guaranteed not to die. People really regard this place as their back garden. Take a walk in the courtyard. The planets are like wild fruits in the yard, they are crunchy when eaten. The flight magic doesn't seem to be working properly here. After all, it is a vacuum and there is no wind, which is understandable. Not only flight magic, like fire, water, and lightning, Su Zaicheng found that most of them could not be done normally. It seems that his cultivation is still far behind. Most of the planets in space are dead stars, and there is no life at all, like those Titan stars, Asgard, dwarf stars, etc. These planets suitable for survival are still a minority in the thousands of universes. Just when Su Zaicheng felt the gravitational acceleration of only 1/10 of the Earth's on a moon-like star with bumpy surface, the sudden danger perception automatically turned on. Su Zaicheng suddenly felt that his headache was about to split, and his whole head was about to explode. His whole body felt like he was sitting on pins and needles, and his back was sweating instantly. Su Zaicheng suddenly became alert. What is it that can make the dangerous perception issue such a strong warning? The intensity of the danger this time was even stronger than the first time he met Jiali. Looking up, Jiali seemed to be nervous too. The whole person stood up from the ball under his feet, and looked into the distance with a serious face. Su Zaicheng had never seen Jiali look so serious. Following Jiali's gaze, Su Zaicheng concentrated his mental strength, and even the copying eyes turned. There seemed to be a dazzling light, galloping here at an incomparably shocking speed. This speed has definitely surpassed the speed of light, and the speed of each second can jump hundreds of millions of light years. Su Zaicheng asked himself, if he wanted to achieve this speed, he would definitely not be able to do it without spending hundreds of billions or trillions. Zaicheng, you go back first, Dad is here to pick me up. I'm leaving. After speaking, Gali's figure also disappeared. Su Zaicheng also intends to see what the planet devourer, Jiali's father, looks like. It seems that Jiali won't give him this opportunity. With Gali here, Su Zaicheng is not worried that the Earth will be eaten by Uncle Galactus. Definitely, the idea just now is just Su Zaicheng's whim. He wouldn't dare to actually see what Galactus looked like unless he was dying. 15 minutes later, Su Zaicheng waved his right hand, and a crack appeared in front of him. The crack was the courtyard of Su Zaicheng's villa. Because it is pitch black in space, when I returned to the villa, it was also pitch black outside, and it passed the night before I knew it. As soon as awakening came, Jiali also left. Enough rest. Su Zaicheng really didn't know what to do. It has been several days since the last upgrade to Hunter Space 2.0. Never got around to watching it. It was only when Su Zaicheng took a break that he remembered. Open Hunter Space 2.0. Hunter Space 2.0 serves the host. Su Zaicheng checked it, but there seemed to be no change. At least it doesn't look like it's changed. The appearance and content are still the same. I won't be cheated. In an instant, Su Zaicheng sneaked into the big black fat man's horse farm. In the next second, Su Zaicheng used the cover of the shadow to avoid the camera and went straight to the stable. Receive. Su Zaicheng casually faced a horse, and took it into the hunter's space. Put. The next second, the horse appeared in place again. Seeing the horse still alive in the stable, Su Zaicheng breathed a sigh of relief. The purpose of coming here is to verify whether Hunter Space 2.0 can accommodate living things. This experiment was a bit risky. Su Zaicheng didn't dare to use himself as a test subject, so he thought of the horses in the nearby racecourse. If the experiment is successful, nothing will happen. If the experiment fails, the big deal is to eat horse meat tomorrow, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. In an instant, Su Zaicheng returned to the villa again, and this time he planned to go in and have a look by himself. Swish. In the next second, Su Zaicheng disappeared in place. Instead of teleporting, he entered the hunter space. Here, there is nothing but a vast expanse of whiteness. There is only endless white. The feet, the sky, and the surroundings are all white. Just this can hold the whole of the United States? Su Zaicheng didn't believe it. He jumped on the spot twice, and directly used his absolute speed to sprint forward frantically in a direction he had determined. It wasn't until 10 minutes later that there was still a vast expanse of whiteness before Su Zaicheng's heart. And then, that's all. Su Zaicheng asked the system, and there was a little disappointment in his words. Hunter Space 2.0 only develops these functions for the time being. When the Hunter Space is upgraded to 3.0, the host can use imagination to create what the host wants in the Hunter Space. I'll go. It's still 3.0 awesome. It was all white and nothing interesting, so Su Zaicheng came out. When I came out, Su Zaicheng found that this system is really well conceived, and it fits perfectly. Where does it go in? It doesn't change at all when it comes out. After the hunter space is upgraded to 4.0, it can be moved to any place according to the host's own needs. Listening to the introduction of the system, to be honest, it's a lie to not be tempted, but now I'm poor and have nothing, so I'll use 2.0 to make do with any upgrade. Drip drip. Just then, the phone rang. Just as he was about to go to the backyard to familiarize himself with the skills, Su Zaicheng saw it and immediately smiled. What are you talking about? This is not the money owner, the boy who gave us money. Ah, the god of luck favors me. Su Zaicheng yelled comfortably, then turned around and picked up the phone seriously. Hey. Mr. Hunter, I beg you again. Why? There are still problems that you S.H.I.E.L.D. Avengers can't solve. Mr. Hunter, now is not the time to joke. The situation has already reached a serious level. I ask you to act as a last resort. Looking at the serious tone on the other side, Su Zaicheng was still a little uncomfortable. Sokovia isn't already flying, is it? What? Soko what? Oh, nothing, let's talk about it. Judging by the tone of voice, it seems that Black Braised Egg doesn't know anything about Sokovia yet. That proves that the situation has not yet reached its worst point. Others don't know the meaning of Sokovia, but Su Zaicheng, as a person who traveled through time, naturally understands it. Sokovia is the place where Avengers and Ultron fought, and it was in this city that Scarlet Witch lost his big brother. That is Quicksilver. I can't make it clear on the phone. Please ask Mr. Hunter to meet and discuss in detail. Send me an address. Black Braised Egg has learned to be smart this time, and he knows to treat himself when something goes wrong. In case something uncontrollable happens, it will be difficult to treat himself. Fight criminals with minimal cost. Sure enough, the Black Stewed Egg is still the same Black Stewed Egg. Top floor of Tony's Stark Industries building. Coming. There's a party going on the top floor of the Stark Industrial building. In a certain room, Nick Fury hung up the phone frowning. Tell me what's going on. Suddenly a voice sounded, and Nick Fury was startled. Just put down the phone, looked up, when a man in black robe appeared in front of him. Isn't that the bounty hunter? Has this guy been here all this time? Why didn't he notice it just now? After a moment of surprise, Nick Fury was no stranger to it. It seems that the bounty hunter should do everything. Nick Fury believes that he can travel through time and space and that time is still. It was because I knew him too well that I invited him over at this time. Looking at the messy dance party outside, Su Zaicheng also wondered, isn't it all right? Shouldn't it be asking myself to accompany them to drink? Or persuade them to drink? Or be responsible for sending them home one by one after they are drunk? Judging from the outside situation, it is estimated that Ultron has never even seen Jarvis. Huh? How should I say it? True truth. Oh my god. Mr. Hunter is really a person who can't beat around the bush. Well, I'll just say it straight. If I'm not wrong, the Avengers attacked the Hydra base and took back the Loki scepter, which is the mind gem. You should already know. I know. What does it have to do with what's going on now? Nick Fury was shocked when Su Zaicheng directly said that he knew. He must have installed monitoring equipment on us, so he knew everything. If you don't pretend, you are not worthy. Let's continue to discuss cooperation. Nick Fury froze for a moment, forgetting that he could read minds. Clearing his throat, he continued. I don't know why, but when I come back from them, I always have an ominous premonition. I can't explain it. I don't know the reason. Maybe it's because I've been sitting in this position for a long time and my nerves have become overwhelmed. You came to hire me just because of an ominous premonition. When did you lose your mind? I'm not kidding, I'm serious, especially Tony. I've been on edge since he came back, my right eyelid is twitching. There is an old saying in China that goes well, the left eye jumps for money, and the right eye jumps for disaster. I think something big is going to happen recently. Why? So you plan to hire me in advance, hoping it will be cheaper. Mr. Hunter is really a mess. Smart. I admire the bureau chief. Feel ashamed. Stop. Don't take this set, you know my appearance fee. Mr. Hunter, just make an offer. 200 billion meters of knives, not 1 point less. The old fox is really an old fox, and he has been vaccinated in advance. Su Zaicheng was also thinking that when Ultron was born and the world was turned upside down, he would sell at a high price and ruthlessly slaughter the black marinated egg. The last time, it was Ultron who escaped, and Black Braised Dan felt that the matter was not that simple, so he quickly hired Su Zaicheng. This is the deepest one Su Zaicheng counted. After all the calculations, I really didn't expect that this black stewed egg was so sensitive that he was hired just because of an unknown premonition. When everyone was still immersed in the joy of defeating Hydra, the black stewed egg could prevent problems before they happened. Su Zaicheng definitely admired this. However, his sixth sense is really accurate, as expected of the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sitting in this position for a long time, even this kind of thing can be predicted. Make a deal. Huh? Oh, okay. It's 200 billion, not 20 million. Hearing the word, deal, suddenly, Su Zaicheng almost fell off his chair. 200 billion is just a number made up by Su Zaicheng. I didn't expect this guy to be so forthright. Just agree. Originally, Su Zaicheng wanted to use this number to frighten the black stewed egg, so that he would retreat in spite of the difficulties, so that he could sit on the ground and raise the price. Can you make a lot of money with this? Old fox, old fox. I often walk by the river, my shoes are not wet, I often hunt geese, and in the end, I was pecked by geese. Yes, that's right, a deal. Then, that, without bargaining. Mr. Hunter is worth the price. Nick Fury insisted this time, there will definitely be troubles if there is no time, instead of showing off like before, it is better to directly hire a bounty hunter, no matter how much he drives, just give it away. In the end, it saves a lot of money, and I feel uncomfortable, and the work is not beautiful. Well, that's fine, I'll accept this task. After all, I drew the road by myself, and with tears in my eyes, I had to climb late. Today, Su Zaicheng understood the mood of the black stewed eggs before. What does it mean to be clever but to be misunderstood by cleverness? What does it mean to lift a rock and shoot yourself in the foot? Su Zaicheng is suffering and can't tell. Well, it's settled like this. If nothing happens, does it count as a mission failure? Don't worry. Honesty is the most important word in this business. If nothing happens, I only need half of it. Okay. In fact, what Nick Fury thought was if there was nothing wrong, could he not give the money? After all, you can eat, drink and have fun for so long. Besides, 100 billion is not a small sum. Definitely, Su Zaicheng will not tell him, your hunch is right, and it will happen soon. The dance has begun, Mr. Hunter, please take care of yourself. The implication is that you just stay here and enjoy it, don't go anywhere, and pay attention all the time. Farewell 4.4. Take people's money and eliminate disasters for others. Su Zaicheng also understands this truth. Teleportation came directly to the hall. Seeing Su Zaicheng appearing outside, Black Braised Egg let out a deep breath. For some reason, when the bounty hunter appeared, his right eyelid twitched even more. Could it be that? Are your hunches right? Phew, I hope it's just my nerves. If the bounty hunter doesn't make a move, if he makes a move, a big event will happen. For such a big event, Nick Fury definitely doesn't want it to happen. In such a situation, the only way to prevent it from happening is to ask a bounty hunter. If it doesn't work, Nick Fury can at least feel more at ease. Because in his eyes, Su Zaicheng is really omniscient and omnipotent. If there is a god in this world, this bounty hunter is the best proof. Nick Fury shook his head with a wry smile, turned around and opened a bottle of Tony's Reserve Lafite. Oh, everyone, look, who is here? Oh Shiete, when will Mr. Hunter come to visit my house? Why don't you let me know in advance? Seeing that it was Su Zaicheng, Tony immediately became enthusiastic. The quiet Captain America also nodded at Su Zaicheng. Thor is also acquainted with each other, so Thor and Su Zaicheng still don't know each other. After a long distance, Thor will toast Su Zaicheng. Drink less, don't become a fat man in the future. Su Zaicheng saw Thor kept drinking, so he couldn't help but say something. Even seen that fat version of Thor already. Everyone is playing and playing, but everyone still respects Su Zaicheng. While drinking, Tony took the glass and walked over to Mjolnir who was on the table. A hand was inadvertently placed on the Meow Meow hammer, wanting to pick it up to see what is different about this hammer. It's just, embarrassingly, it didn't move after a few lifts. This scene was also seen by everyone. Thor simply suggested that everyone play a game together to see who can pick up the hammer. This proposal immediately made everyone dissatisfied. Isn't it just a blow? What's so difficult about it? Why, the alien hammer is amazing. Thor, with a sly smile, beckoned everyone to give it a try. F*K, I didn't try hard just now. Look at me. Tony took a look, he couldn't be ashamed, so he quickly smoothed things over. It's just that no matter how hard he tried, with both hands, the Meow Meow hammer still didn't move at all. Wait for me. Tony and the Meow hammer just got on, summoned the steel arm, and the palm engine spewed out. It seemed that it was still useless. James Rhodes couldn't sit still anymore. He put on the Iron Patriot armor. Tony also got serious. The two of them worked together. Hey, you two are just like this, how do you feel? If I wear the Mark armor, I can also be Iron Man. Seeing that neither of them could do anything with a hammer, Hawkeye laughed affectionately from the side. Come on, come on. The two reached out their hands at the same time, as if to please. Looking good. Hawkeye drank the wine from the blanket. Rolling up his sleeves, he pointed at Meow Meow hammer and picked it up. Embarrassing scene appeared again. At this time, everyone realized the evil side of the hammer. Everyone looked at Bruce Banner together. In terms of strength, the Green Titan should be ranked second, no one dares to rank second. The hospitality is hard to come by, Banner also tried, and then shrugged, expressing that he could do nothing. Ha ha ha. Is this the level of your earthlings? Why? Only if the hammer is voluntarily lifted by someone who is worthy of being lifted, that person can use it. Otherwise, depending on you, the building will not be lifted even if it is demolished. Hey, unfortunately, I am the man favored by Mjolnir. Seeing everyone deflated on his little hammer, Thor laughed wildly. Oh shit, don't be too happy, we still have the final booze. After Tony finished speaking, he glanced at Su Zaicheng, which meant, come and give the Earth people a sigh of relief. Su Zaicheng is naturally self-aware, if he can't pick it up, he can't pick it up. After all, Mjolnir's setup is that only those he approves of can pick it up. Su Zaicheng felt that it was not ashamed that he could not lift it. I can't pick it up, but I can take it away for you. Although, I think so in my heart, I can't save face in front of everyone. There's one more person who hasn't tried yet. Under the hood, Su Zaicheng looked at Captain America with a half smile. Others can't pick it up, this product is fine. When Su Zaicheng finished speaking, all eyes were on Captain America. Since bounty hunters are so optimistic about you, how can you do it without showing your hands? The United States, which originally only wanted to see jokes, had to stand up at this time. Captain America held the handle of the Meow hammer tightly with both hands, and his face became serious when he smiled. Take a deep breath. Hands, hard. Everyone held their breath and stared closely at Meow hammer. Hope for a miracle to happen. While exerting force, the Meow Meow hammer, which had been motionless, seemed to shake for a bit. Thor, who thought that Captain America could not succeed, was about to laugh out loud when he suddenly froze. He seemed to see his hammer as if it was about to be lifted by Datula. When everyone thought they were dazzled and wiped their eyes to see how Captain America lifted the hammer, Captain America smiled again, let go directly, and shook his head. It seems that I can't do it again. But, he seems to have the answer in his heart. Everyone looked at this posture, forget it, he is another man who doesn't move. Bang. Zzz suddenly, there was a loud noise. In the room, everyone looked in the direction of the sound. The wall there was blown apart. From the crack, an ugly robot emerged. He was covered in yellow light and was 3 meters tall. Without further ado, just raise your hand and it will be a palm cannon, firing at everyone. In the back is Tony's lab and workbench. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Get out of the way. As expected of being a special soldier, the captain reacted quickly, raised the shield in his hand high, and faced the shell head on. Suddenly, there was an explosion in the room, and the people who were drinking and dancing just now were frightened and panicked. Fortunately, there were Avengers, and they scrapped the robot directly, and at the same time organized the evacuation of the personnel in an orderly manner. Su Zaicheng, who was watching from the sidelines, didn't even need to make a move. Looking at the scrapped mechanical parts, the Avengers couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. However, a yellow light slipped away inadvertently under everyone's eyelids. Even Su Zaicheng didn't notice. In an inner room on the upper floor of the room, Nick Fury was also taken aback. It seems that what should come will always come. Nick Fury frowned, although he didn't know what happened, but as S.H.I.E.L.D. director, he had experienced so many times of life and death, and passed so many hells. I always feel that this time things are far more than that simple. Presumably this is an appetizer, the prelude before the storm. It turns out that what was done today was wise. Nick Fury glanced at the bounty hunter standing in the crowd below, and said to himself. What happened? Everyone couldn't help looking at Tony and Banner, since they defeated Hydra and regained the Mind Gem. Something was wrong with Tony. Before the party started, Tony took Banner with the Mind Gem scepter and went to his laboratory to fiddle with it. After coming out, even Banner was evasive. At first everyone thought there might be some secret between the two men, and they were too embarrassed to ask. It's just that the current situation seems to have something to do with these two people. The explosion pointed the finger at Tony and Banner. Oh shit, damn it, how could this happen? I said, this may not work, you are too eager for quick success. The two of them didn't seem to notice the strange eyes of others. Instead, they looked at each other. Each said something that no one could understand in a daze, then turned around and entered the laboratory. Shet, Wardrock. Jarvis, what about Jarvis? Everyone was also full of doubts and followed the two to the laboratory. I saw Tony yelling at the empty console, as if something was lost. Even his smart butler Jarvis seems to be missing. Not only that, but also the mind gem he just got back. Tony, what the hell happened? Tony is going to create an army of robots to take our place when we die. Su Zaichang sat aside. A sly light leaked from under the hood, absently listening to Banner's explanation. In fact, Su Zaichang knew all these things, but Su Zaichang didn't intend to tell the whole story. His task was just to solve the trouble. When Ultron shows up, he's already taken down. After all, Su Zaichang is also a person who has traveled through time, and he has a similar understanding of the ins and outs of things, unless they deviate from the storyline and do not follow the development of the plot. However, things like Mind Gem are beyond what the Earth thinks. We can't grasp its ability at all. It's just a little effect, and under the premise of Jarvis, we can create a new artificial intelligence. Tony is going to hand him the Iron Legion banner was still explaining to Tony. It seems that your plan has failed. Natasha Romanoff stared at Banner mercilessly. Ultron should have developed a sense of self. Who is Ultron? Hawkeye also questioned his soul. The one who attacked us just now should be Ultron, to be precise, a steel armor he controls. You mean Ultron is dead? Hawkeye continued asking. After all, that steel armor has been scrapped by Thor with a hammer. No, absolutely not. Suddenly, Tony said affirmatively. On the workbench in front of him, a blue light emerged. That's a string of letters. It means that Ultron has self-awareness, but he did not maintain the world according to Tony's intentions. Instead, he believes that human beings are the most threatening existence on Earth. Ultron wants to destroy everyone. He is immortal. The internet is his hiding place. Where? Signed as Jarvis. Su Zaichang also thought, this Jarvis is quite high level, it was almost assimilated by Ultron, yet it can still leave such crucial information. Now, everyone understood that just now, when they were singing about wine, Ultron was born. If the information left by Jarvis is correct, then Ultron is not necessarily hiding somewhere on the internet, summoning his Iron Legion. Then what to do next? Thor weighed the Meow hammer in his hand, a little impatient to have a big fight. There is no way but to wait passively. Banner said something dejected. The enemy is in the dark, and we are in the light, so what's the matter? Moreover, the internet is invisible, intangible. How to find Ultron's hiding place? Jarvis is dead. Ultron is also hiding. There is no clue. Crow. Su Zaichang, who was sitting by the side, finally spoke. Su Zaichang also didn't want to waste time like this. Killing Ultron would end his mission. Instead of letting them just do this, it's better to give them some clues. Anyway, I can't find Ultron's location, so it's better to let them help find Ultron, and then annihilate it in one fell swoop. After the task is completed, each goes back to each house and finds each mother. Crow? Hearing the bounty hunter speak, everyone was stunned and then suddenly came over. Tony hurriedly searched for something on the console. This is a dark church covered with cobwebs. It should have been abandoned for a long time. Don't know where it's located, or where this is. On the innermost shelf, a piece of rag slipped, revealing a hideous mechanical head. When he stood up, he could see that the whole body of this guy was made of steel, and there was a faint yellow light at the joints. He could not be the escaped Ultron. I was born to protect the world and protect the Earth. I can control the internet anywhere in the world, so I can also know many unknown secrets. If you want to protect the Earth, Avengers are the biggest threat. They affect the world and change the rules. Without them, the Earth will not have peace. Ultron seems to be talking to someone. I said a lot of ramblings by myself, regardless of whether people understood or not. As for Ultron, he can control the internet all over the world. Su Zaichang also thought about it before, so why didn't this guy just liquidate all Stark's shares and let Tony go bankrupt? Wouldn't he lose a competitor? In other words, detonate all the big treasures stored in the United States, and there will be a big explosion. This time, more people can be killed. Regarding these, Su Zaichang couldn't figure it out before, until today he found out that the surviving Jarvis is still controlling the order of the internet and restricting Ultron's behavior. Before crossing, Su Zaichang only knew that Jarvis was dead, but he didn't know about it. Then isn't this a little bit like myself? Gong. Buying Stark's stock and making money with Tony, Su Zaichang also thought about these things, but the system is just like Jarvis, which is not allowed at all. The next two people also listened in a daze, without replying at all. Ultron probably sensed it too, and continued speaking. Do you know how your parents died? As soon as they heard that it was related to themselves, the two immediately became interested. Your parents were killed by the Avengers. Tony, that is, Iron Man. The missile he developed himself killed your biological parents. Ultron gave an embellished speech, telling the story clearly and logically. On the other hand, these two people seem to have believed in his evil, and Goran believed it. These two were brothers and sisters Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. The two were specially invited by Ultron. With this ability, it is not surprising that Ultron can be seen and gathered. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were completely brainwashed by Ultron's impassioned speech. The two groups hit it off and decided to kill the Avengers first. Destroy the Avengers on behalf of Earth. Now, I need a brand new body. This body is too fragile. Your mission is to help me find the hardest metal on Earth, vibranium. Where should I find it? Don't worry, I know where it is, you just need to be responsible for covering me. Although I don't know the reason, just now, Avengers already knew about the existence of that person, so we need to hurry up. Crow is a smuggler who can not only smuggle arms and drugs, but also special materials such as vibranium. Definitely all of this is due to one person. As early as a few hours ago, he had already received news that there was a big gold major buying vibranium at a high price. So, after agreeing on the location, he waited here early. Suddenly, heard the sound of a plane engine galloping down from overhead. It is artificial intelligence, Ultron. Huh? Tin bump? What about vibranium? Hey, this robot can still talk, are you wearing a robot shell? I'm the one who wants the goods, where are the goods? You are the employer who wants to buy vibranium, what do you want so much vibranium for? If you talk nonsense again, I'll cut your tongue off. Ultron shook his head, the mechanical skull creaked. Why is this man so annoying? Are all arms dealers like this? He is more verbose than an 80-year-old woman. Then you have to think about it, this amount of vibranium is only available to me. Don't worry, I have money. Oh my car, do you know how hard this thing is to get it done? Do you know how much vibranium with the size of a fingernail is worth? Seeing Crow talking non-stop, Ultron couldn't stand it anymore. I have never seen anyone who can talk better than me. Ultron raised his hand and fired a palm cannon. One last time, where is vibranium? This act calmed Crow, and hurriedly took Ultron to get vibranium. It's just that when Ultron got vibranium, he didn't seem to plan to give money. Pay the money with one hand, and deliver the goods with the other hand. You should know the rules of this business. This Crow is really a talker. Ultron raised his hand with a machete, cutting off Crow's arm directly. You still ask me for money. I have tolerated you for a long time. I will take things again and not give money. Holding the vibranium, Ultron turned around and flew away without looking back. Chattering Crow also cried out in pain, watching helplessly as he snatched his things. Suddenly, a round shield flew over and smashed Ultron head-on. The Avengers 6 arrived just in time. Su Zaicheng watched from above, not planning to make a move. It's not that I can't, but I don't want to. First, even if Ultron is killed, Ultron can still escape without completely destroying the internet. In this case, his mission is not complete, so Su Zaicheng needs someone to restrain him. And this person is Vision. With Vision, Ultron can be controlled to prevent him from using the internet to escape again. Second, Su Zaicheng wants to set a long line to catch big fish. Today, he really has to let Ultron go. Only when Ultron creates Vision can Su Zaicheng encounter the purple sweet potato essence that came to Earth. Even for purple sweet potato essence, for more money, and Ultron's escape, Su Zaicheng has to do it. Su Zaicheng doesn't care whether Vision will be born or not, he only cares about money, who has trouble with money. If Vision has nothing to do with purple sweet potato essence, or if he can control the internet, then Su Zaicheng will definitely make a move today. Seeing the Ultron fighting fiercely below, Su Zaicheng unleashed his spiritual power, and immediately activated the soul tracking technique. Before Ultron knew it, Su Zaicheng had planted his spiritual seeds in his mechanical brain. This move is not to kill him, just to know his position at any time. Just when the battle was getting more and more intense and Ultron was retreating steadily, suddenly, a figure of extreme speed leapt past, and one of the 6 members didn't pay attention, and was knocked to the ground by Quicksilver. Scarlet Witch followed by Quicksilver, and took control of Captain America and the others with a single hand of mind control. Tony left Captain America and Thor to deal with these two, choosing to take on Ultron himself. It's just that when everything is done, the rest of the Green Titans will suffer. I saw that Scarlet Witch's hands released the Scarlet Origin magic power, which directly covered Banner's head. Banner seemed to be trying to resist, but it didn't work. After all, it is the super ability developed by Mind Gem, which cannot be resisted by mutants like Banner who mutate by gamma-ray irradiation. The next second, Banner roared loudly, the veins on his body popped out, and his eyes were bloodshot. It seemed that Scarlet Witch had affected her mind, and she lost control directly. Banner turned into Hulk and quickly jumped out into the distance. It was obvious that he was very angry. Who dares to stop this state, even Thor? This level 1 paragraph seems to be very long, but it actually happened in a few seconds, let alone Tony didn't react. Even Su Zaicheng watched as it happened. Originally, Su Zaicheng wanted to control Scarlet Witch in advance and try to ensure the safety of everyone in Avengers. This was his task. Only, knowing that Scarlet Witch wanted to control Banner, Su Zaicheng didn't react. As expected of a level 6 origin magic power, it is indeed unusual. From a distance, Ultron in this state is not very strong. In the sky, Tony chased all the way, and soon, Ultron's body was hit and smoked, and he fell straight on a pier. The vibranium is about to be shipped off. Watching, Tony held his palm up to himself, Ultron said. But you can't get anywhere. How could Tony be the kind of simple-minded person, without any hesitation, with a flick of his wrist, a missile was already aimed at Ultron. I'm definitely not going away, my purpose has been achieved. You'll follow my train of thought, but first with Dr. Banner. Boom. The missile shot out, directly blowing Ultron's body to pieces. Don't worry about Su Zaicheng's spiritual seeds, the seeds are planted directly into the soul, although Ultron has no soul, but he has consciousness. That's enough. Tony also sensed that the time was running out and the situation was a little bad, so he blew up Ultron and flew up to find Banner. Search news and videos, keyword Hulk. After confirming the location of Banner, Tony went directly to it. Everyone, it looks like I'm going to use the hypnotic ability song. Tony uses the infinite mic to communicate with his teammates. Tony, everyone's hurting. Looks like I'm going to ask Veronica to help. How could Tony not know that his teammates were injured, and he was the only one left unaffected? He had to face the crazy Hulk alone. After finishing speaking, in space, a Stark industrial satellite suddenly moved, 10 large box-like objects flew towards Tony's position quickly. Su Zaicheng, who had been watching the situation in the sky, also shook his head helplessly. Tony went after Hulk, leaving a group of wounded. This is a rush to save lives and heal the wounded. Obviously I'm the strongest person, but I'm reduced to watching a show and cleaning up the mess. Teleport in an instant and come directly to Captain America, Thor. Because the task was successful, Quicksilver disappeared at some point. Su Zaicheng knew it. Don't think that their business is for vibranium. In fact, the drunkard's intention is not to drink. He used his strength to control the Green Titan, lowered the morale of the Avengers, and made them lack a general. This is the result they want to see, and it is also the plan they have discussed. And, it's going according to plan. It's just that Su Zaicheng sees it through but doesn't say it through, that's all. Pulling Captain America, Thor and others, they moved instantly and appeared in the Stark Industrial Building again. After settling them down, Su owed the place where the Piezo and Banner fought. Hey, Su Zaicheng, when did you become a nanny? I'm a bounty hunter, not a bounty nanny. I said system, can I cancel this mission? Once the host accepts the task, it will be directly entered into the system and linked to the hunter's reputation level. Once the host cancels, he will bear the consequences. Nani. When did a hunter reputation level appear again? A new operation after the upgrade. Su Zaicheng was completely speechless. Anyway, after taking over this task, you have to carry it out, that's what it means. Anyway, it's a hole you dug yourself. Hey. This is a small city closest to Green Titan. The crazy Hulk is like a beast that has been hungry for a long time. He beats anyone he sees, tramples on cars and smashes walls. Everything that stands in front of Hulk will be destroyed. With a sudden jump, a building was demolished by Banner. The people on the street were panicked and overwhelmed. One by one they ran away screaming. The madness of the Green Titan naturally attracted the attention of the local police. All the police cars were dispatched, and the police were fully armed, trying to resist the big green fast head in the street. Hulk didn't care about this, he completely treated the police as a display, and continued to smash and smash. Seeing this situation, how could the police sit still? The automatic rifle in their hands was loaded, and there was no need to deliberately aim at it, just shooting at Hulk. Hulk, who was hit by the bullet, naturally refused to suffer, and he was already out of control. If you still shot him with a machine gun, wouldn't it make him even more angry? Sure enough, the bullet landed on Hulk and did nothing but stir up his deeper rage. He kicked the police car into the air, and the policeman who was covering by the police car was also kicked out by the inertia. Hulk was about to turn his head and pull out the electric pole next to him. But the policeman who flew out did not want to let him go easily, and the gun in his hand lying on the ground did not forget to shoot Hulk in the back. Hulk jumped up in an instant, threw a car, forced him to drop his rifle, and then stepped forward to get a closer look at the huge head. Then, he roared loudly, wanting to slap him to death. The policeman was so frightened that he couldn't move his limbs. He could only watch the huge amounts of palms slapping him, and he couldn't even utter the last cry of help. Boom. Suddenly, a thick iron pillar stood in front of the two of them. Boom boom boom. Immediately afterwards, there were several loud noises, and Hulk was surrounded by 5 or 6 iron pillars, and the iron pillars were connected to each other, forming an airtight cage, which locked Hulk tightly inside. Moreover, a high-voltage electric current is released between each iron pillar to prevent Hulk from destroying him. In midair, pieces of armor were moved and worn on Iron Man's body. Yes, that's right, it was worn on the Mark armor. Tony is layer upon layer. Looking at the imprisoned Hulk in the distance, I saw that the cage made of steel and high pressure vibrated violently at this moment, and the ground also shook. Suddenly, the entire floor began to sink. The top couldn't get rid of it, and Hulk actually made a hole from the bottom. I really don't know if this big guy is really stupid or fake. At the moment, Tony's armor is also assembled. With huge amounts of body, it seems very bulky, but the strength should increase. The toolbox in the sky was still floating not far from Tony, always ready to support Tony. This set of equipment, called Anti-Hulk Armor by Tony, Mark 44, completed with the cooperation of Banner. I made this armor on a whim, but I didn't expect it to be used. Okay everyone pay attention, all evacuated. Hulk was also taken aback when he looked at this iron body as big as himself. Can you hear me? That little witch is playing tricks on your mind. You're stronger than her, you're smarter than her. You are Bruce Banner. Tony tries to wake the Hulk. Ho 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 ho. Oh, yes, no mention of the weak Banner. Because in this state, Hulk controls the body. Although Hulk and Banner share this body, Hulk doesn't like Banner very much, he is too weak. Tony's verbal awakening and psychological counseling didn't seem to work. Hulk grabbed a car next to him, like throwing a stone, and ruthlessly threw it at the anti-Hulk armor, that is, at Tony. Tony had to control the armor defense. Unexpectedly, under the cover of the car, Hulk hit the abdomen of the anti-Hulk armor with a punch, knocking Tony out hard. When Tony saw it, he couldn't be soft, he had to be tough. The huge body flew up in an instant, a big hand pinched Hulk's face firmly, and rubbed it fiercely on the ground. Hulk is also very experienced in fighting, and he got rid of Tony with one trick. How could Tony be the kind of person who would easily admit defeat? The lasers in his palm kept shooting, and Hulk was sent flying. Hulk's huge amounts of body crushed a large truck before barely stopping his body. Tony was going to check the situation. Suddenly, Hulk held up a lamppost and hit a home run very handsomely, knocking Tony out too. Before Tony could react, Hulk disappeared into the blind spot of vision again. In the next second, Tony only felt his body sink, and fell directly to the ground. Don't think about it, it must be Hulk's tricks. Move me, Banner. How could Hulk be obedient? The lamp pole was locked in against the arm of Hulk's armor. This arm is considered useless. Seeing that he was temporarily suppressing Tony, Hulk became even more crazy. 2 pairs of giant hands, like Arhu tearing down a house, kept trying to tear down Tony's clothes. Okay, don't make me hit you. The arm held tightly by Hulk suddenly fell off, forming an independent flight device, and the clenched mechanical fist went straight to Hulk's face. As a last resort, I can only let go of Tony under me. Veronica, help me. The necrotic mechanical arm on the anti-Hulk armor began to fall off automatically. In midair, pieces of mechanical parts flew out of Tony's toolbox at a rapid speed. It should be to replenish the places destroyed by Hulk at any time. Hulk came to his senses again, yelled at Tony, and accelerated towards Tony with a run-up. With one arm disabled, Tony could only use the other arm to fire a laser cannon in an attempt to slow down Hulk. However, the mere laser cannon can do nothing for Hulk. Directly carry it hard, facing the laser cannon and attacking Tony. Fortunately, Veronica's replenishment was quick, and when Hulk rushed over, the mechanical arm had already been repaired. Just in time, Hulk also rushed in front of him. Boom. The two refused to give in, and directly chose to face each other head-on and punch each other. In an instant, at the place where the fists collided, a ferocious airwave instantly swept in all directions. Automobile glass, window glass, no matter what kind of product it is, they are all shattered by the earthquake in an instant. Tony throws Hulk to the ground with an overhand throw. Hold down Hulk with one hand, and the other hand that has just been repaired hits Hulk like a hammer. It's like pounding garlic at home, holding it with one hand, and smashing the garlic with the other hand. Sleep, 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 sleep. Tony hammered Hulk's head while muttering. Hulk is such a disadvantaged person. The more Tony hammers him, the angrier he becomes, and the angrier he is, the more powerful he becomes. The person who dared to hit me like this has not yet been born, and you are really the first. When Hulk went crazy, it was as if he didn't recognize his relatives, and he was afraid, let alone Tony. Hulk clenched his teeth, and the giant green hand tightly clenched his armored fist, stopping Tony's hammering. Click. However, before Hulk could react, the mechanical fist he was grasping retracted, and quickly changed the shapeshifting shape, just like shapeshifting King Kong. The mechanical sound was heard, and the arm turned into a steel pipe-shaped pipe that stuck Hulk's arm tightly. Moment. Okay dude, I gotta get you out of downtown. After speaking, the back engine of the anti-Hulk armor and the engine under the shoe started simultaneously, and flew into the sky with Hulk. Oh shit, it's not here, no is wrong, isn't it? Even in the air, how could Hulk easily become honest? Hulk body, twisting randomly, even if the anti-Hulk armor is equipped with a powerful power system, it can't withstand Hulk's toss. With just a few strokes and a sudden turn, Tony found himself off the flight route, led by the Hulk's gravity, and crashed headlong into a building. Please, Bruce, cooperate. One hand is still stuck on Hulk's arm, and the other hand is facing Hulk, which is crazy output. I saw a spray sprayed on Hulk's face, which is a spray similar to sleeping pills, which is used to help Hulk sleep. But how could the angry Hulk be easily put to sleep? Leaning his back against the wall, he kicked hard on the anti-Hulk armor with both feet, instantly sending Tony flying, and at the same time freed one hand from being restrained. When Tony flew out, he realized that there was an elevator behind him, and there were people in it. As a superhero, saving lives is of course the most important thing. Hold the cable with one hand and jet the engine with the other. The moment the elevator barely reached the ground, it stopped. Evacuate quickly. As soon as he got off the elevator, Hulk's attack came up. Fortunately, Tony was smart. With a backflip, he not only avoided Hulk's attack, but also kicked him out. Please call me athlete. After finishing speaking, Tony manipulated the anti-Hulk armor to pull the elevator, like a hammer, and smashed hard at Hulk who had just fallen to the ground. A good elevator, instantly smashed. Hulk turned his head, gave Tony a ferocious look, and then spat on the ground, not sure if it was the blood, spittle, or a tooth that was thrown out by Tony just now. Oh Micah, I'm so sorry. Seeing that he seemed to make Hulk even more angry, Tony said a little embarrassedly. In the next second, Hulk had already stepped on the anti-Hulk armor. Imitating Tony's posture, he also hammered up randomly, and constantly disassembled his parts. Tony has no choice but to push the engine to raise his body, trying to use the air superiority to deal with Hulk. Two people climbed vertically on this building, fighting while taking off. Bad enough. Damage report. This is too general, give me some practical help. The flight device in the air is constantly scanning the anti-Hulk armor, and if any piece is damaged to the point that it cannot be used, the corresponding parts should be quickly replenished and repaired. Although Hulk is a big guy, it doesn't mean he doesn't have IQ. How could Hulk, who has already met once, give Tony a second chance to supplement and repair? One hand kept picking and pulling the parts of the anti-Hulk armor, and the other hand looked at the timing, punching the flying supplementary parts one by one. Suddenly, an unfinished building under construction in front of him caught Tony's attention. How quickly we can buy the building. Hey, does anyone need help with? Huh? It seems that someone is very interested in this building. Tony, who was pulling Hulk on a slow flight, suddenly heard a familiar voice, right next to his ear. Mr. Hunter, you're finally here, can you help keep the Hulk in check? This guy is completely insane. I offer 5 billion. Received. The battle between Tony and Banner, it feels like you have been fighting for a long time when you come and go, but it is not. Arrive. Since someone paid for the task, how could a qualified bounty hunter stand by and do nothing? With the wind blowing under his feet, Su Zicheng's body stopped firmly in the air, his hands firmly grasped Hulk's leg like pliers, and he slammed it down. Tony dropped the fight and changed to Su Zicheng. At the moment, The anti-Hulk armor has not been supplemented with constant mechanical parts, and it is close to being scrapped. Tony has no doubt that if the bounty hunter comes a few minutes late, he will definitely die in the hands of Hulk. On the ground, Hulk shook his head. Throwing him down from such a high sky was indeed a bit buzzing. However, looking at the man in black robe who threw him down, Hulk roared, still not afraid. Today is the god of creation, and Hulk will have to fight him. Su Zicheng also smiled coldly, and put the elemental bow and cursed blood knife into the hunter space. Su Zicheng actually planned to confront Hulk head-on. This was done on purpose to make the Hulk angry. Use the newly added 375 points of physique to practice. Boom boom boom, boom boom boom, boom boom boom. The two of them punched to the flesh, ignoring the fact that they were in the city. It's just that Hao Shu discovered something was wrong before he even had a few rounds. Obviously both of them were hitting each other, so why would he grin his teeth in pain like a normal person? Looking at Hulk's body, which was originally all green, he could actually see clearly visible fist marks. All of them turned red. Not an opponent, not an opponent. Hulk saw that he was in a weak position. He slammed around, spread his legs and ran away. The corner of Su Zicheng's mouth raised. Boy, you are far behind me in terms of physical strength. Someone might be curious. In the Sakar Ball arena, didn't Thor also have a fight with the Green Titan? Yes, that's right. Thor relied on his god-level body at that time to barely draw with the Green Titan, and even defeated the Green Titan after Thor awakening Thor's power. Then why can Su Zicheng only have a 3/8 god-level physique to be able to hard Green Titan? Everyone, don't look at Su Zicheng's only 3/8 god-level physique, but don't forget that Su Zicheng is still wearing a hunter suit. With the addition of the indestructible body of King Kong, his body is definitely not scary. Yes, it is not a joke to say that it surpasses the divine body. Not to mention god-level physique, not to mention Hulk. Even if Su Zicheng is facing purple sweet potato essence now, Su Zicheng is not afraid. As long as he works hard, Su Zicheng is already close to the other middle layers of level universe. This is also because he can't bear the power of the universe, and he can only be rated as this level by barely being eroded in the universe. According to the setting of the Marvel world, the physical fitness of the middle layer of the universe should be rated as a 6. Want to run? Haven't I hit enough? It's not easy to meet a person who can bear his full strength. How can Su Zicheng let him go so easily? No matter how you drop it, you have to let yourself have a good time. He smiled and moved instantly. Boom. Su Zicheng had just arrived at Hulk's side, and before he could stand still, he saw a huge green fist heading straight for the door. Caught off guard, Su Zicheng had no time to defend, and was directly punched by Hulk and flew out. Damn it, sneak attack. Su Zicheng never expected that this big stupid man would predict. What a smirk. It is the old saying. Hooligans are not to be feared, but they are cultured. Hulk is not scary. I am afraid that Hulk's IQ is still online. It's not rude to come and go, you can also give me a punch. Su Zicheng teleported to behind Hulk again, dodging his attack cautiously. The right hand clenched into a fist, and the phalanx cracked. This is Su Zicheng brewing strength. I'm afraid Hulk is also a little confused. Why did this guy look like he was okay when he was punched by me? Did I hit him wrong and didn't hit him? And the speed was too fast. He just came out of the ruins and patted his body the soil. How come it is behind me in the blink of an eye? I finally predicted that punch just now. This time I will be unlucky. Eat me with a punch. Su Zicheng turned slightly to one side, and the right fist that had been drawn behind him struck out instantly. Hulk seemed to have anticipated this, and actually put his arms in front of him in advance to defend himself. However, no matter how good his brain is, he will never be able to guess how powerful this punch is. When Su Zicheng's fist rushed towards Hulk, if he slowed down, a shockwave would be visible to the naked eye directly in front of the fist, and the air in front was compressed to both sides, truly forming a vacuum zone. Before the fist arrived, Hulk's tense muscles had already begun to sink in. With a punch, Hulk's body shot out like a cannonball, no, faster than a cannonball, an intercontinental missile, and this speed can even be described as frightening. Even Hulk's body blurred. Looking up, Hulk's body crashed into an unfinished building after destroying 3 buildings. To Su Zicheng's surprise, it happened to be the one that Tony just bought. When Hulk stopped his body, the overwhelmed unfinished building also collapsed. Bury the Hulk deeply. Iron Man, who was on the sidelines to protect the safety of passersby, went forward to check the situation, scraped and scraped the broken stones, and leaked the top of Hulk's green head. Roar! Suddenly, Hulk did it and yelled again, startling Tony. Hulk survived such a powerful punch from Su Zaicheng. Under conditioned reflex, Tony punched Hulk in the face, and Hulk fell down. This is Han country. A country in the civilized world since. In this country, almost all people advocate plastic surgery. Even after girls turn 18, they celebrate themselves with plastic surgery. It's also a coming of age. Here is a plastic research academy. Here are the top plastic surgeons and researchers in the whole country, and they have perfect equipment. Don't say that you are a person who has been burned on 100% of your body, even if you only have a skeleton left. You can get a complete body here. A female doctor is an old employee here. At the moment she has just operated on a patient. Back to the research room. Hello. Ah, who? The sudden sound startled her. If it were someone else, I'm afraid I would have to be shocked. If it were you, when you came home from get off work, a strange voice suddenly thought behind you, what would you do? I think the first thought was not thinking about countermeasures, but fear. Don't be afraid, I just need your help. Who are you? Get out quickly, or I'll call the security. What help do you need? In front of the female doctor is a robot with ferocious fangs. Just ask, seeing such a terrifying face, how could an ordinary person not feel fear in his heart? However, when the robot put a scepter on her body, she suddenly became obedient. Needless to say, the droid is still Ultron fleeing down the internet, and the scepter in his hand is the Avengers' lost Loki scepter studded with the mind gem. The research hospital where the female doctor works is an open hospital, so under the control of Ultron, in full view, not only kidnapped the female doctor, but also stole various plastic surgery equipment. On the plane, Ultron, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, the female doctor and the stolen vibranium, it can be said that all the people who started the era of Ultron are here. I need you to build me a new body out of these things? 3D printing, I think this should be your professional field. No problem. The Avengers were devastated after the Chatty Crow's vibranium robbery. One by one listless. After all, it is self-evident how uncomfortable it is for these stronger people to have a bad start. Mr. Hunter, what should we do next? Or Tony is straightforward enough. Anyway, no matter what things come to a dead end, the man in front of him will always have a solution. Two roads. How to say? First, I'll take you straight to Ultron. Second, you can rest and recuperate for a while, waiting for news, or waiting for allies. Su Zaicheng definitely hoped that they would choose the first one, lead the Avengers to kill directly, snatch Ultron's body, wake up Vision, control Ultron, and annihilate Ultron in one fell swoop. The mission is completed. How crisp and straightforward, it doesn't delay my effort. It's just that my task is to take good care of these little chickens. At least for now they are all little chickens. But, looking at the morale of these guys now, Su Zaicheng is very worried that one or two of them will be killed by Ultron. After all, even Quicksilver, all the people whose speed reached 6 died in the hands of Ultron. So Su Zaicheng is really not optimistic about these people around him. Needless to say, definitely choose the first one, go. My hammer won't agree until I beat that little witch out of shit. Thor has had enough of being tortured by Scarlet Witch for the past 2 days. Just wanted to fight her. Unexpectedly, when Su Zaicheng mentioned that he was going to find them, he was so excited. I'm also going to pin that fast boy on the wall, and I'll see if he dares to overthrow me. Hawkeye Barton also squinted and said coldly. However, Su Zaicheng instead read that these two people have a feeling of falling in love and killing each other. Well, it's not too late, let's go now. With the spiritual seed, no matter where Ultron goes, unless he is out of the galaxy, the Factor can pinpoint his location. On the other hand, under the skilled operation of professionals, Ultron's physical body has been created. Now it's time for the intense and exciting data entry session. The female doctor helped Ultron connect to the data port, and Ultron also lay down. During the data transmission process, he couldn't move, he could only talk, unless he cut off the connection himself. Lying in a large metal cabinet was a man with a red body and a mind gem inlaid on his brow. This is Ultron's new body. Drip, drop, drop. Time passed by every minute and every second, and there was a holographic screen outside the cabinet showing the progress of the data transmission. Current data transfer. 10% current data transfer, 20%. Current data transfer. 30% current data transfer, 40%. The data transmission is very fast, and it is estimated that it will take less than an hour to input all of them. By then, if Su Zaicheng and the Avengers don't arrive in time, Ultron may really be about to start a new era. Because they brought the Avengers with them, they chose an airplane. Although it is the high technology of S.H.I.E.L.D., its speed is not very fast. It can even be said that it is almost the same speed as Tony controls the Iron Man armor. If it wasn't for the short distance, Su Zaicheng would not be willing to travel so slowly. Now Su Zaicheng is afraid that he won't snatch Ultron's body by mistake because he was on the way, which will affect the Marvel world. In addition to the female doctor controlled by him with the psychic scepter, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are still on the plane where Ultron is. It may be that after the previous battle, Ultron no longer regards them as outsiders, or it can be said that he regards them as his subordinates. Therefore, the process of data transmission does not avoid them. While Ultron thinks so, some people don't. I saw Scarlet Witch slowly put her hands next to the cabinet, where Ultron's head was. Quicksilver saw it too, but didn't intend to stop it. You must know that the origin magic power of Scarlet Witch is endowed by Mind Gem. What kind of existence Mind Gem is, it is not an exaggeration to say that it contains the energy of the universe. From this, it can also be imagined that Scarlet Witch's ability is absolutely not bad. Not only can she control other people's hearts, but she can also control other people's spirits. She can also use this ability to detect what is in other people's hearts and minds. This is a bit similar to Su Zaicheng's mind reading, more like a weakened version of the combination of mind control and mind reading. Okay. When Scarlet Witch saw Ultron's thoughts, she couldn't help but let out a soft cry, and her body couldn't help but took a step back. Fortunately, Kuaibao helped her in time. What do you see? A plan, an evil plan. He wants to destroy all mankind. Scarlet Witch's small eyes were filled with great shock. You know it all. While Scarlet Witch discovered him, Ultron also discovered Scarlet Witch's tricks. You are all smart people, like me, have big ideas. At the same time, you also want to avenge your parents, don't you Long? Ultron may not be willing to lose these two capable men, and he intends to use his wonderful speech to brainwash them again. HMPH, don't think I don't know. These are the means you use to use us. Ultron seems a little embarrassed, being discovered by others. But I have to continue, since it can't be saved, even if it is to be an enemy. Ultron has to procrastinate for time. Don't forget that there is still data transmission here. Current data transfer, 50%. Then you should also know the viciousness of Avengers through my thoughts. If they are not eliminated, the Earth will not be peaceful for a day. A long time ago, the Earth was a peaceful home, where man and nature lived in harmony, but now, the Earth has been devastated. Ultron was already self-aware. He knew that his rhetoric would not convince these two people, but he had to talk nonsense for more time. However, what he didn't know was that under the cover of Quicksilver's body in the cabinet, the origin magic power released by Scarlet Witch's palm was approaching the cabinet. Origin magic power can decompose and analyze all substances, including Mind Gem, which is somewhat similar to Su Zaicheng's copy eyes. So, interrupting data ports that Scarlet Witch doesn't understand, she can still do easily. Although Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch treated Avengers that way before, although they were used by Hydra to do a lot of bad things before. But all in all, the two are also living human beings. Don't look at the hype that Ultron said, but as human beings, they must stand on the same ground as human beings. Boom boom boom, boom boom boom, bang bang bang. Just when Ultron was still eloquent, a huge amounts of explosion came from the tail of the plane. On the plane, there was a sudden violent shaking, and even the female doctor couldn't stand still, fell to the ground and passed out. Looking outside, isn't it the Avengers? Su Zaicheng didn't talk too much, teleported directly onto the plane. What else do you want to say? Saying that, the cursed blood knife in his hand pointed at Ultron. Su Zaicheng didn't use you, but used them, because now Su Zaicheng is not sure whether Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch have rebelled now. Just as Su Zaicheng said, it seems that this posture is aimed at Ultron, and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch took 2 steps back. It means to hit him if you want to hit him. It has nothing to do with us, we are innocent, we have lost our way, and all this is his fault. You are strong. I know. I'll make all of you regret it. It's gone. Let's die. It is estimated that Ultron has black question marks all over his face now. What kind of person is this? He is playing cards out of common sense. As soon as he heard the explosion, Ultron felt something was wrong. I'm afraid this new body will be used as a wedding dress for nothing. Originally, Ultron still felt that there was a glimmer of hope. Although there are many of you, if you want to grab something from me, no matter how bad it is, you have to fight me. However, this guy who came out of nowhere can't help but make Ultron feel afraid. And he was going to kill me when he came up. It seemed that he couldn't beat him. But Ultron was not reconciled to just throwing his new body like this. What the hell should he do? No matter what Ultron thinks, Su Zaicheng has already done it anyway. To be precise, it was brainstorming. Because under the control of Su Zicheng's spiritual power, the spiritual seeds exploded instantly. As expected, Ultron's mechanical head exploded instantly and exploded into pieces. Hey, sure enough, I still can't kill him. The Ultron in front of him had been blown to death, but surprisingly, Su Zicheng felt the presence of another Ultron. This proves that Ultron has used the internet to escape again. The spiritual seeds planted by the soul tracking technique are directly planted on the opponent's soul, that is to say, no matter how many times this person dies, as long as he is still conscious, the spiritual seeds will continue to take root in his consciousness. This truth can be understood by Yin Chang after a little thought. That's up to you. Vision. Putting one hand on the cabinet, the next second, Su Zicheng's body was back on the shield plane. Go go go. Let's go, take back the scepter, take back the vibranium. Teach those two mutants a lesson too. The rear hatch of the plane opened, and everyone was fully armed and ready to jump into the plane where Ultron was. Judging by the posture, they are going to do a big job. It can only be said that these guys are really nervous, they don't even know when Su Zicheng will disappear or come back. Hello. What are you doing? Su Zicheng interrupted them helplessly. Hey, Mr. Hunter, when were you here? What is this? Several people looked at Su Zicheng holding a large cabinet, like a horizontal refrigerator. Asked incomprehensibly. What, it's over. Let's go back. Go back. How is it possible? I want to show them how powerful I am, Thor. Now that Ultron has been killed by me, there are only those two mutants left on the plane, do you still want to go? Su Zicheng said coldly, and sat down directly. With arms folded, he looked like he was joking. Several people scratched their heads in embarrassment. This side is not ready yet. The bounty hunter has rushed into the enemy's lair, not only took the head of the enemy general, but also brought back the spoils. As for us as Avengers, it's really a bit ridiculous to say it. Stark Industrial Building, the top floor, Tony's private studio. All of the Avengers are here, not just the Avengers but the bounty hunters, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. When Tony, the captain and others knew that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were also bewitched by Ultron, and they were not bad in nature, they were willing to help them fight Ultron, so Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch had just joined the alliance. You know why Ultron can't use the internet to kill us? On the internet, people have n+infinite ways to make the Earth dead, but he can't. Do you know why? Everyone's faces became more dignified, and Wang Ni tried to break the embarrassing atmosphere. Why? In the end, it was Banner who looked around and found that no one was going to talk to Tony, so he quickly took his words and asked in order not to embarrass Tony. Good question. Because there is a mysterious person blocking him in the internet. That's it. After speaking, Tony took a transparent LED screen in his hand and slid it to the side, and a holographic projection appeared in front of everyone in an instant. It was a mess of yellow light, like a ball of wool that had been scratched by a cat, and it's still turning regularly. Others may not know what it is, but Banner definitely knows it. Isn't this the dead Jarvis? Jarvis? Yes, thanks, man, as you can see. Jarvis, the Jarvis who is not yet dead, the Jarvis who is lingering, bearing the burden of humiliation and surviving. For the sake of the Earth, he is carrying out the final protection, the order of the internet, and he is helping us to carry forward. So, what else do you want to do? Captain America seemed to have an ominous premonition, and hurriedly asked. Re-enter the Jarvis data into this body to create a new Guardian of Earth. Tony said firmly, meeting Captain America's gaze. Like creating Ultron? Scarlet Witch can't sit still anymore. One Ultron is enough. This is the rhythm of another one. I still think that the destruction of the Earth is not slow enough. The cause of this accident is also because of you. Seeing my sister open her mouth, as a big brother Quicksilver, how rare is it to directly sprinkle salt on Tony's wound, that's it. It was an accident. Believe me, I will succeed this time. I'll take Mrs. Doris' chicken next door, for sure. Oh shit, come on Tony, that chicken tastes like shit. Hearing this, Thor, who was staying aside, was unwilling, his brows frowned as if there was a picture in his mind, and there was a taste in his mouth. You can say whatever you want, but you must not mention this old lady Doris's chicken, because it's F***king unpalatable. Tony looked around, looking at everyone one by one. It seemed that everyone didn't think highly of him, and they didn't plan to support him. However, Tony's temper, like his identity as a playboy, is absolutely born. 8 horses can't move, and with a wave of his hand, he is about to transmit the data of Jarvis. The captain of the United States saw that Tony had fallen into a pit, and he would never gain any virtue. As a superhero, how can this be done? As the captain, he must be stopped. The shield in his hand circled around and hit Tony's operating hand directly. Tony also refused to give in. With a move, a set of steel protective gear was put on, and the palm shot came first. With a bang, it exploded in the house. In an instant, the atmosphere is tense, and everyone seems to want to stop Tony. Not only Captain America, but also Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are ready to fight. In an instant, the scene was chaotic. As the strongest king, Su Zaichang looked at it as a joke. It has to be said that Su Zaichang is getting worse and worse for these people now. Tony can't, definitely, if he can develop the latest nanomark armor, it's another matter. Nor can Thor, unless he can awakening Thor's power. Bruce Banner is even more contemptuous. Even if he can integrate with Hulk in the future, that won't work. Not to mention Hawkeye, Natasha Romanoff. As for Scarlet Witch, this is what deserves Su Zaichang's attention. There is also Quicksilver. Although Quicksilver is strong, but he is strong, and he is not as strong as Marvel's setting, he is destined to die. Looking at such a group of Avengers whose strength is temporarily primary school students, Su Zaichang couldn't help but shook his head. Protecting such a group of people, only a black marinated egg can think of it. What are these people doing now? In the eyes of Su Zaichang, it is no different from playing house. Watching Avengers, at some point, Thor stood on the cabinet containing Ultron's body, holding up Mjolnir as if to destroy the cabinet with the vibranium body every day. On the hammer, the thunder and lightning gathered in an instant, and Thor waved Mjolnir with the force of the thunder and lightning, and hit the cabinet fiercely in the eyes of everyone. Warning! 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 Overloaded. Suddenly, the cabinet exploded as if it could finally bear no weight, blowing all the Thors on it out. In an instant, the liquid nitrogen in the cabinet gushed out constantly, and suddenly, a shining figure stood out from the smoke. The smoke dissipated, and one's skin was blood red all over. What's even more strange was that on his forehead, that is, in the center of his forehead, a yellow gemstone was embedded in it. He is really a strange man. If you say he is a robot, he has real skin, but if you say he is a human, he has a body with mechanical parts. Suddenly, he flew towards Thor at high speed. Thor was also a grappler, throwing him flying. Outside the window is the periphery of the Stark Industrial Building. After smashing the first layer of glass, the man stopped precisely in front of the second layer of glass. Just like a car sliding on the snow, suddenly there is sand in front, and the car suddenly it's like stopping. The action is gorgeous. The man looked at his appearance, and flew back again. It's just that when he came back for the first time, he put on clothes for some reason. A tight uniform made of carbon fiber, even the metal cloak behind it is full of high technology. I'm sorry, it feels good, strangeness? Ah, thanks. The man stood before Thor and spoke to him. It seems to be a thank you to Thor for helping him say the word. Thor, was he born with your help? The captain was a little dissatisfied and said to Thor. I had a vision, a vortex that took away all hope, and at the center of the vortex. It's him. After speaking, Thor pointed to a man who had just been born under his thunder and lightning. No, it's more accurate to say that Thor refers to the yellow gemstone on his forehead. It's a jewel, like the one on the Loki scepter. Banner said suspiciously. To be precise, it is the fine Canberra stone, one of the 6 infinite gems, which possesses the most powerful energy in the universe, and its destruction ability is unparalleled. Then why do you still? Because Stark was right. Thor interrupted the captain's question and continued. Oh, this is definitely the end of the age. Upon hearing this, Banner was also interested, and not only made complaints about it. The Avengers can't defeat Ultron, not on their own. This man said such a sentence to everyone. And this man is Vision, a superhero with the Canberra stone. It is definitely one of the main players in Avengers. On this point, at least Su Zaichang agrees. The first second when Vision first came out, Su Zaichang had already looked straight at him. Not only that, Su Zaichang has a bold idea, and has already put it into action. That is to use the soul tracking technique to plant the spiritual seeds into the Vision spirit. Su Zaichang thinks so. First, control Vision and let him be your right-hand man. After all, it is the owner of the original stone, and has a high-strength vibranium body. With such a person who obeys himself, Su Zaichang can wake up with a smile when he sleeps. Second, using Vision's physique, Su Zaichang plans to slowly decompose and analyze his rough stones. If one day, he can analyze the structure, essence and composition of infinite gems, then he will be a walking gem manufacturing machine. If not, it will be awesome. Third, control his program, restrict Ultron through Vision, and then annihilate Ultron 9 in one fell swoop. Although this step is a bit redundant, Su Zaichang is unwilling to waste time. However, The final result seems to be different from what Su Zicheng imagined. When Su Zicheng's mental power approached Vision, there was a strong yellow light that stopped him. This made Su Zicheng a bit wary. That ray of light only softly kept Su Zicheng out at the first time, but the second time it was extremely strong, as if only Su Zicheng made the next move. Then Su Zicheng will bear the devastating blow of spiritual power. Why does your vision look like Jarvis? Captain America had seen Jarvis before, but he felt that the red man in front of him actually looked a bit like Jarvis, which not only made Captain America a little puzzled. We restructured Jarvis's program to form a new product. Tony proudly introduced. Tony is as confident about his work as he is about his new hairstyle. The new product is already rotten. Quicksilver made a timely remark. Do you think I'm the son of Ultron? Vision seemed slightly annoyed by Captain America's repeated mistrust. Asked directly. Do not you? Not to be outdone, Captain America looked him straight in the eyes and replied back. I'm not Ultron, I'm not Jarvis, I'm myself. Vision looked around for a week, looked at everyone, and the words seemed to be addressed to Captain America, but more like they were addressed to everyone present. While everyone was talking, Su Zicheng was also looking up and down at Vision. Although mental power can't invade his system, he can still check him out. It's okay not to look at him, but after this look, all Su Zicheng was left with was shock. Long before the time travel, Marvel officials had already set the positioning for Vision. Number 1 control density, number 2 genius intelligence. Number 3 energy manipulation, number 4 holographic image. No. 5 super strong, number 6 stealth, number 7 flight. Su Zicheng used to sneer at Vision. Isn't it just a vibranium robot? At most you can count your Canberra stone, so what? Only one infinite gems. Vision can be so strong. However, reality taught Su Zicheng a lesson. What is the concept of a 5, a 6, and a 7? Even Su Zicheng doesn't have any ability to ask himself to reach 7. In other words, Vision may be on par with Su Zicheng in a certain aspect, or even better. Vision, well-deservedly the strongest robot in Marvel at present. However, the later Vision seems to be unable to escape the result of being officially weakened by Marvel. Like Quicksilver, although he is strong, he was eventually stolen by the little guy. Maybe Marvel officials deliberately weakened Vision in order to balance the strength of Avengers and not to cover up the popularity of other popular heroes. Anyway, all in all, Su Zicheng will not care about these things, not to mention weakening Vision. Even if Su Zicheng is given money to destroy the Earth, Su Zicheng will definitely not be relentless. Come on, in a little while, the Earth will be destroyed. Seeing their babbling, Su Zicheng finally couldn't bear it anymore. Isn't it just a lot of people, and you are not happy to have a big boss join you? If I don't go for more than 10 years, I will really be buried with the Earth. Destination: Sokovia. Vision also seems to be able to locate Ultron via the internet. He picked up Mjolnir at the side and put it in Thor's hand, and flew out first. The ease of picking up Mjolnir in one hand shocked everyone. Based on this alone, Vision's ability cannot be underestimated, and Captain America has temporarily shut his mouth. Sokovia. This is a small city in the United States, backed by mountains, with San Francisco in front. It can also be regarded as a hub connecting virgin forests and modern cities. Moreover, this city is not small, not to mention political factors. The city's population alone has tens of millions, or even more. The location is also quite superior. I dare not say it is the center of the United States, but it is definitely a very important place on Earth. It has to be said that Ultron was very intelligent in choosing this place for the final decisive battle, and it might have been calculated by a computer. If the Avengers were to fight here, the population factor must be considered and the combat effectiveness would be weakened. Today, Sokovia is destined to be an uneasy day. Vision. Explain Ultron's purpose. Outside, Su Zicheng still had that high cold look, coldly ordering Vision, at least let the Avengers know what they are going to do this time. I always feel that since the birth of Ultron, the Avengers have been in a state of confusion. Always forced to fight, forced to be beaten, a little unclear about everything. It seems to be a few bricks, where they need to be moved. It's like a group of puppets who can only fight. However, this is their own business after all. Su Zicheng only plays an auxiliary role. His existence is only to complete the task quickly, not to lead such a group of primary school students to learn knowledge. To be honest, if Ultron hired Su Zicheng first, maybe this group would have met their god by now. Definitely this is also impossible. There is a chicken before the egg, isn't it? Ultron's purpose is to destroy mankind. You can even say that he wants to destroy the Earth. Everyone should be clear about this. Vision began to give everyone a clear purpose for this battle. Sokovia is where Ultron hides. Early before, this place has become his base. The depths of the city are filled with powerful engines by him. These engines are powerful enough to fly entire cities to high altitudes. And in the very center of the city, there is the energy pillar of Austrian creation. We must not let him touch the energy pillar, or the Earth will be finished. Our mission is to go to the center of Sokovia and make sure Ultron doesn't touch the pillars. Regardless of the reason, the energy pillar cannot be touched by Ultron. Although everyone still has a little understanding, but in general, they already know the mission of this battle. Others don't know, but Su Zaicheng knows that this energy pillar controls these giant engines. If Ultron touches it, as long as any part of the body touches it, the engine will be extinguished, and the city will rise from the sky. If it falls, not only tens of thousands, hundreds of millions of people in the city will fall, but also, under the action of gravity, the Earth will also be smashed. The engine stalled, and at that point, Sokowie hit the Earth like a meteorite at an increasing speed. That's what Ultron is for, that's his plan. In fact, this can only be regarded as Ultron's plan B. Originally, Ultron thought that he would obtain a new body made of vibranium, and then his ability would have a brand new improvement, defeating the Avengers. To destroy all human beings, the Ultron mechanical army will control the Earth, and it is just around the corner. And Sokovia is just Ultron's last resort, and it is also the worst plan. If it doesn't work, let Sokovia, the Earth and himself be buried with him. Away. Swish 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 swish. Several figures first landed in Sokovia. The people who came were the Avengers, a few flying and fast ones who took the first step to prevent further actions of the breakthrough. Several people looked around the energy pillar. There seems to be nothing special about it. This pillar is only about half the height of a person, made of the same machine, and emits a faint blue fluorescence. This drill thing is the power pillar. Tony couldn't help but get dizzy looking at the shoddy little contraption. It's this drill thing, and if Ultron touches it, we're all screwed. Vision seems to have inherited the humor of Jarvis, even when answering questions. Looking at this location. This should be the city center of Sokovia. This is a place similar to a church, perhaps because it has been too long, it has been dilapidated, and it is ventilated on all sides. Translucent front and back. The wall next to it is also in ruins. Su Zaicheng is not here, Ultron is not sealed, Su Zaicheng will not help. His task is to eliminate hidden dangers, not a real nanny. As for this wonderful part of guarding the house, Su Zaicheng will not waste his energy helping them in vain. Just wait for Ultron's real body to appear. One hit will kill him, and the task will be over as soon as possible. Asterisk 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 bang, boom, as expected. Ultron's robot army is hidden around here. Tony beat him to pieces with one palm shot. Careful. Captain America's shield slides another graceful arc to kill another droid. Set out of breath, it seems that he should have just arrived. These robots look exactly the same. This is not surprising. Long before the few people arrived, the huge energy engine underground in Sokovia had already started. It may be that Ultron has sensed something and plans to die with everyone. Ultron, as expected of a high-level intelligence, can even make this kind of thing. Although the technical requirements are not high, the key is that the materials are hard to find. Just looking at one engine, that guy, the radius is half larger than the area of the Stark building. It's no wonder that it can support the whole city to fly freely. Even when Su Zaicheng saw these engines, he was not only a little suspicious, but if this guy was installed backwards on the surface of the Earth, adding a few more, would it be too exciting to push the Earth into a free flight one? Where is Natasha Romanoff? Don't tell me you're still hiding with Banner and flirting. Seeing that there were only a few people here, Tony couldn't help but complain through the wireless microphone. Don't worry about iron armor, little treasure, not everyone can fly like you. Natasha Romanoff, who was far away from the edge of the city, was driving a huge armored vehicle to the city center at high speed. Along the way, legions of robots appeared continuously, but Natasha Romanoff did not flinch, put on the high gear, crushed all the way, and rushed over. Looking at Quicksilver and Hawkeye Barton, the two were also galloping all the way, and there are many robot legions hidden in the dark on the road. It seems to be adhering to the consciousness of Ultron. All of them are very stubborn. If there is no hard steel, there is no frontal hard steel. They are all equipped with rifles or something, and they hide in the dark and release the gun. People in the city have long panicked. Just ask anyone who sees the city he is in suddenly flies up, who is not afraid. Moreover, there are so many robots suddenly appearing in the city, each holding a rifle and holding a weapon, and it is not a good thing to look fierce. After the Loki alien invasion a few months ago, It seems like people all over the United States have a new understanding of this world. It turns out that in this world and in this universe, there are not only people on Earth, but also aliens, and there are so many evil forces, as well as existences that ordinary people cannot understand. At least, seeing so many robot legions, people still feel scared for no reason. All the shops locked their doors tightly in an instant, and people fled in all directions on the street. And Quicksilver and Hawkeye are the superheroes who save the world. Along the way, they're like gods blocking and killing gods, and Buddhas blocking and killing Buddhas. I don't know how many robot legions died under the hands of the two. Hey, boy, you didn't expect that either. After Hawkeye shot a robot trying to sneak up on Quicksilver, he purposely laughed around him. It seems that Quicksilver laughed at him when he attacked the Hydra base before responding. Quicksilver touched the gunshot wound on his shoulder. Although Hawkeye shot the robot, but the opponent's shot also shot out. At the critical moment, Quicksilver only escaped the fatal wound, but was still grazed by the bullet. Quicksilver also shrugged, and the two continued to approach the energy pillar. After a while, all the Avengers were assembled at the power pillar again. When Thor smashed the heads of the last robots near the energy pillar, Ultron also flew over outside the church. Ultron, who has not arrived for a long time, seems to be summoning all the robot legions and wants to launch a fierce attack. He doesn't expect to wipe out all the Avengers, but there must be a robot that touches the energy pillar. Because at this moment, Sokovia has risen to an altitude of nearly 10,000 meters. Looking outside the church, the original good building has long been ruined by bombs, rays, Hulk and robot legions. People ran out frantically one by one, but the city they were in had already risen to the sky of 10,000 meters. Even if they escaped, where could they escape? Hey, is that all you can do? Thor stood in front of the energy pillar and shouted at Ultron arrogantly. Ultron seemed to hear Thor's yelling too, and waved his hand upward. I saw a large number of robot legions pouring out of the sky, underground, and buildings. That number is like locusts crossing the border. It's so dark that people with intensive phobias are afraid that they will faint on the spot. Hey, you just have to talk too much. Captain America also cracked a joke at this time. He rolled his eyes at Thor. That's what I'm capable of. Ultron looked at his legion.